working.
Oh, you made it now, baby. Oh, you made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Get this tea. Hey y'all. Good night. Good Friday night to you. Welcome to 3T. We are here celebrating the life of Derrick, Garard, Brent. So the champ has made his transition, and we're here to celebrate his life in this way. As you know, or if for those of you who did not know, Derrick did not want a regular funeral. Hey Tammy, I see quite a few people on already. So we know how much
Vicky.
you all love Derrick. Yes, ma'am.
Vicky, sorry,
Yes.
but people starting to comment and saying that the audio is poor and they can't hear and stuff.
Really? Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
that's Starlet saying that now.
Okay, Starlet is having some issues with her audio. Though. Is anybody else saying it?
Okay.
Is anybody else saying it?
If you want it.
Hey Tuesday. Hey Tammy, Lori, Destiny, Sherelle, Tracy from Cincinnati. What about now? Anybody in the chat? If you're having issues with the audio, if you cannot hear, please let us know in the audio. We are thankful that you all came out tonight. As I was saying, many of you know that Derrick did not even pre-pandemic did not want. Hold on, let me mute you all. He did not want a funeral, right? What he said was that he wanted to be able to all right. Mary Hogan said she can hear. Okay, so we straight. She said that she wanted to be able to literally have a good time. I mean, he wanted to be able to literally have a good time. He wanted to be able to, he wanted somebody to pray over his body, and he wanted to have a party, somewhat of a party. Eat, drink, be merry, right? Tell good stories, do some comedy, just like he would have lived. For those of you who, some of you had some questions about the fact that we are not, he won't have an open casket, but that was his choice. He said to us very clearly, hey, Keisha, he said to us very clearly, when I say us, I mean his wife and I, in the last 48 hours of his life, that he wanted his people, the people that loved him, to remember him laughing, talking like they always knew him. That's the way he wanted to be seen. So that is that, right? So we are here to do exactly what he wanted us to do in the closest way that we possibly can, because we cannot have a regular party in the area that we're living in right now. I don't want to get off into that, but this is as close as we can get to a party. So that's why we're here doing this right now. So you see some people on the screen already. Those of you who are logging on, as you know somebody that love Derrick, share the video feed so that they can join us. These people that you see are people that received a link earlier on so that they could share a memory, a story, a tale, or what have you about tell on him, whatever they want to do about Derrick. They have 5 to 7 minutes to do that. After which time I will offer you all who are looking from YouTube the same opportunity to share a story, a memory, a tale about Derrick G. Brent. So how we will do that is I will share the link with you at that time. You just go right onto that link and come on in and then share your story. So on the panel so far, I will let them introduce themselves, introduce their names. How about this? You all tell us your name and tell us how you knew Derrick. Leave it at that, and then we'll come back and get the stories. All right? Is that okay? Everybody here? All right. So
that's cool.
Of course, I am Derrick's big sister, and he didn't have a problem telling anybody that. I was thinking about that earlier today, that he always tell people that my big sister, this is my big sister. So I am Vicky, and I am Derrick's big sister. Next on my screen is Mary, but she is over in the corner and I can only see one eyeball. Okay. Tell us who you are and what is your connection to Derrick. Wait a minute. I can't hear nothing you saying. Are you on mute? Yep. Say it again.
My name is Mary, and I am Derrick's good luck charm. I am his wife.
All right. Thank you, Mary. Next, I see this lady right here with a black hat on. Black hat, black blouse with the diamond drop. And then she just disappeared. Did you see that? Did she fall out on purpose? Mary, who is on your computer with you? Let those people introduce themselves as well.
You said who's on? Oh, come on. Come on, Zoe. Go ahead, Zoe. I know. Introduce yourself.
I'm Zoe. I'm Derrick's niece.
Can y'all see Zoe?
No.
Quickly, Zoe, come on.
Hold on, Zoe on her computer, but she on here with us, but you can't see her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh
no, she did something.
There she is.
Oh, there she goes.
Welcome.
She finally figured out how to do it. Yeah.
Okay, who are you? Who are you to Derrick?
She's gone now.
I'm Zoe.
Did she go away?
She just went. She just
Yep.
popped up.
What's happening? Okay.
You keep running away.
I'm not.
She's doing that.
I'm Zoe. And I'm Derrick's niece.
All right. Next, in Mary's room, who else is over there with Mary?
I'm Saeed, and I'm Derrick's other niece or favorite niece.
But I'm the favorite niece.
No.
Oh, there she goes.
Hold on, I think I know where it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, next I see these two ladies right here. One with a shirt on that says "Free IND." Indeed, free indeed. Who's in that room?
Hi, I'm Lois Edison, and Garard was my godbrother.
Okay. And who's next to you?
Hi,
Lois?
I'm Lisa Edison, and I am the god sister, little sister.
Okay. All right, and next to free indeed is
Jeremiah.
I'm looking at the top of your hat, Jeremiah. I'm so gifted.
Jeremiah,
okay, who are you, Jeremiah, and how are you connected to?
Derrick was my god brother.
Derrick was your god brother. There's a bunch of God stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
And next to him is a big fellow with a white hat on. Who are you, sir?
I'm Will, and I've known Derrick since second grade.
Awesome. Now back down to the lady with the black hat who disappeared the minute I started describing her. She's back.
My sound just completely went off. I couldn't hear a thing, so I left. Sorry.
And who are you?
I am a friend of Derrick's and a sister in love, though not in law or blood. And I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't know him.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
That's interesting.
All right. So next is a big fellow with a, what is that, a Kango?
No, just hibbity-dibbity.
Okay. Well,
hibbity-dibbity. Yeah. I'm Sonny, and man, I don't know how to describe me and Gerard. We was brothers. We was friends. I mean, I was his uncle. You know what I'm saying? So I've known him for so long. I'm truly gonna miss him.
Okay. And finally, in this last room over here with the blackboard.
I'm Rod, Derrick's mini-me. He's talking about his little brother.
And who's next to you over there, Rod?
This is my girlfriend.
So
Hey, girlfriend.
Hi.
So you know him through the mini-me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get straight into the storytelling. And we will start with Sonny. He's having some issues with his computer, so we want to hurry up and get him on before we lose him. So, Sonny, you got 5 to 7 minutes to tell us what you know or what you want to know about Derrick.
I'm definitely gonna jump back on, but I'm still at work because we don't close at 6:30. We didn't close until this thing started, so I just stayed here. But like I said, I'm Sonny, and I got so many stories that I could tell about Garard. I've known him, or Derrick, as we say.
Hold on, Sonny. I'm sorry. 1 minute.
30+ years.
Give me 1 second. Everyone, mute yourselves until it's your time to talk, because we're getting a lot of feedback, and I want to make sure that we hear everything Sonny's saying. So just mute yourselves. You don't have to go nowhere, Starlet. She ran off again. Just mute yourselves. Okay, Sonny, go ahead.
Yeah, mute yourself. I don't want y'all talking while I'm talking, the background noise. No, I'm just, I've been knowing Garard forever. And just one particular time, a group of us went on a trip. It was me, Vicky, Starlet was there, Teddy was there, of course. And this was another person, but we went to Tennessee to our friend Dion's wedding. It was a beautiful trip. We rented a car. I think it was 5 of us deep. And it was really a quick trip. We just kind of jumped in the car, went down there, got down there that night, slept, changed clothes, went to the wedding, changed clothes back, and got back on the road, came back to Detroit. But for some odd reason, me and Garard got to clowning and acting super silly, which if you ever been around us, he can do that to me and I can do that to him, get him started. And it's just like, and so our other friend, Teddy, and if you know Teddy is not a stranger to anyone. He will come into your house. He will go through your clothes. You'll look up, he'll be eating a bologna sandwich that you have made. That's how he is, you know? And so he did some stuff like that while we was on this trip. So me and Garard just started making up almost like a mini series about him, just like how he just get in these situations. And the name of the mini series was "Who Are You?" We was just making up stuff about him. I'm talking about all the way, it seemed like from Nashville to Detroit. I don't know how many hours that is, but eventually they was like, "Would y'all shut up?" Garard and Sonny, shut up. All the way home, we laughed, and I'm sure we irritated Teddy, but Teddy irritates us all the time, so we wasn't tripping. That's how you could get him back, Zoe, if you ever want to irritate him. We just made up these weird stories of him in these weird predicaments, showing up at places that he wasn't supposed to be, being in people's rooms where he wasn't supposed to be there, borrowing people's dogs, taking them for walks. We just went on and on and on and just laughed the whole time. So that's one story, and I got 2, but I'm gonna get it done in my time. The second story is I work, like I mentioned to Lisa, I work for a college student ministry, and there was a conference here. And Vicky and Tanya, as y'all see, we do a lot of traveling together. Vicky and Tanya Garard came down. I think Zoe was with them too, and she was an itty bitty baby. But anyways, the conference was good for me, Tanya, and Vicky. Garard was half asleep, was zoning out. He just started cracking jokes on everything, on the people, on the food. And just so happens when they served us the food, they had brought us some chili and some pop. But the chili, unfortunately, was cold, but the pop that they gave him was not in the refrigerator. It was warm or hot. So he made up this whole song. The chili was cold, but the pop was hot. The chili was cold, but the pop was hot. The chili was cold. We was dying laughing because it was true. We was like, shut up. That's the only thing he got from that conference. Black Liberation Conference, some deep thinkers. The only thing Garard got from that conference is the fact that the chili was cold and the pop was hot. And we died. Oh my God, we laughed. So he just, if he was here right now, I would say, Gerard, just sometimes I just call him and just say, sing that song. He'll just break. The chili was cold, but the pop was hot. The chili was cold. There is not one person on earth, I don't think, that can make me laugh harder than he could, and to the gut. I mean, you know, that real deep core laughing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's one of the things I'm gonna miss most about him. Even when he called me and he was sick, he was in the hospital, and he said, and I'm gonna quote him, Mary. He said, "But I'm still a funny motherfucker." He said, "I'm still a funny motherfucker." I'm like, "Yeah, you is, boy. You still a funny motherfucker." So those are just two of the stories that I have with him. I've seen Garard grow up and mature, have children, and just do great things, you know, with his drumming, with his hair cutting, and just weather the storm as it relates to his health, but just strong and just was able to persevere. And I respect him and love him for him. And I'm gonna greatly miss him. There we go, Vicky. I don't know if I did my. The chili was cold, but the pop was hot.
I remember that, Sonny. I remember that.
Man, it was so funny, man. We laughed and laughed.
He sang it so much, I was sick and tired of hearing it. I do remember that. Wow. Okay. So who's next on the docket? I think we're gonna give it to Will. To Will. Big Will, what you got to say? You got 5 to 7 minutes.
Well, I mean, we could talk about literally anything with him, because Derrick was basically that all-around person that he was funny, talented, could sing, you know, played the hell out them drums.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about his competitiveness and how petty he was when he was being competitive. And I mean, that dude was petty. So
how petty was he? Tell us how petty he was.
So I'll give you 2 instances. Years ago, it was me. I wish Kenny was here because Kenny could back this story up. Me, Kenny, and Derrick were at the bowling alley. This is when Sylvan Lanes was still open. And we were there and we were bowling and it was just having an average night or whatever the case may be. We were doing what we were doing. And this cat walked in and he was just talking all sorts of junk. So like every time Derrick would bowl or every time I would bowl, this dude was like, "Man, I'm better than all y'all. Y'all ain't nothing," and whatnot. And so Derrick started getting hyped. Derrick started getting like, "Okay, you talking all that stuff. You ain't about nothing. I'll show you about who can do it." So dude put up $100. I said, and I said, "Okay, I'll put up $100 for my boy since you so tough." Derrick went out and bowled a 257 on this dude and talked the whole time. "What about this? Oh, you so good? Yeah, that what?" And I mean, he went out there one time and bowled and had a freaking chicken wing in his hand because we all know how he loved chicken. I mean, he lit this dude all the way up, talked to him all day. "How you feeling now? You want to give up? How you feeling about this? Ooh, look, another strike. What you got there? Ooh, oh, that's a sad 6 you just bowled. Oh, you took." I mean, he talked about this dude the whole time. And like I said, he bowled like a 257. That's the best time I ever seen Derrick bowl in my life. But he was petty on this dude. and of course, the dude got mad and he left out. And we were sitting there. And then he went out to his trunk and pulled out a gun and we took off running. So but he got mad because Derrick would not shut up. You know, when Derrick gets on a roll, he is not about to shut up.
No,
he is not about to stop. But he had it coming because he was talking to Derrick like he was like, "Oh, you small, man. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing for me. You ain't about nothing. You can't bowl. You ain't got no skills and stuff like that." And when he came in, Derrick wasn't. It was an average night for us. So I think it's like I bowled like a weak 87. Derrick bowled like a 110. But as soon as this dude started talking junk and we put that money on the table, Derrick went to town on that dude and bowled a 257 and talked him down the whole time. This dude was pissed. He was pissed. I don't know if he was more pissed that he lost $100 or the fact that Derrick was talking to him like he was a kid.
He wouldn't shut up, right?
So Then the second time out about the competitiveness, we went out to Lake Orion to play basketball. It was me and my boy Kev and my boy Jason and Tori, and we brought Derrick out there. And I think Derrick brought somebody with him. I can't remember. Now, this is when Derrick had his prosthetic. And he hadn't been out running as much, but he was starting to get back into shape and doing whatever. So he's like, hey, let me run with y'all. Okay, cool. Yeah, come on out there with us. So we get out there and we running like 5-on-5. And Derrick was, he was just getting used to warming up and getting used to doing what he was doing, getting his shot back. Now, the one thing about it is, even though Derrick hadn't played in a while, and even though he had, was getting back into it, especially getting used to his prosthetic and running, he hadn't lost his shot. Like, he was still able to get out there and shoot that long shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This white boy, look at his leg, and had the nerve to start talking about Derrick. Talking about, oh, well, man, you ain't about to be all right. Man, you ain't come on. And I'm sitting up here looking like, I told him, I said, you don't want to talk. No, man, he ain't out here doing nothing. He ain't. But Derrick's like, okay, come on, let's run it. Man, this dude got out there every time. I had never seen somebody on a prosthetic cross somebody out of their shoes in my life. Derrick got up there, and it wasn't even like it was a hard cross or anything. It was just like this smooth crossover he did and went to the right. And this dude ended up over there in the grass. He shot the shot. He was embarrassing that dude. And once again, dude got mad. So he about to start fighting, and all of us was about to jump him, but he was talking major BS. But Derrick, one thing about Derrick, he was not going back down from nothing. Nobody. If you started, it was best that you just let him do what he gonna do. He gonna win. But if you start talking junk, he about to embarrass you. And I have seen when he was playing pool. See, I know some of y'all might not know. This dude used to play some pool. He learned from his daddy how to play.
Yeah, he did.
And like, this dude would make money on the table. But don't talk no junk, because the minute you start talking junk, you might not get another shot. That's how. So Derrick, that's the one thing I can say about Derrick. Talking about his competitiveness and whatnot, but you tie that into how he lived and how he always kept pushing regardless of what was going on.
Yeah,
that dude was not. He might get down, but he was not going to give up. He just kept pushing, and he would look at stuff and situations, and when people would try to even look down on him, it's like, no, you ain't about to look down on me. You're not about to sit up here and act like I'm weak or act like I can't or nothing like that. No, Derrick's like, no, I'm going to do it. And he going to prove it. So I guess tying the times, and there's many more times that this dude, he clowned me a couple times, but we're not going to get into that because that ain't about, we don't want to talk about how he talked about me and all that. But,
that's awesome.
But yeah, Derrick was one of a kind, just always one of a kind. He never lost any challenge that he ever came up against. So those are my two stories right there.
Thank you, Will. He when you talk about that him playing or being competitive, I often forget, honestly, when Rod made his celebration video, I was looking at the end of it, and one of the things at the beginning, and he said the multi-talented Derrick Garard Brent. And I remember when I looked at it, I thought he was certainly multi-talented, but he's done so many things. I think I forget about how many talents that he has, because I know that he was a good a good athlete. I know that, right? Even though that wasn't his thing, and I know that he was making some money at pool, gambling, would not let mama know. I knew he was doing that too, but I know that he can play the hell out of some drums, so, but I just, because it's almost like, we live several lives in this life, because you do something at some point and you really do it. And then you kind of move on to the next phase, for everything, a time and a season. So it's just easy to forget, how talented he really was, So thank you for sharing that and helping me remember how talented he really was. I'm going to put this up. I did it already, but I'm going to do it again. Destiny is here. Hey, Des. I'm going to acknowledge some of these people that are in the chat room. Lori Bishop, who is a friend that Garard. Well, he loved all y'all. He loved y'all. Tuesday, Derrick, he and Tan went his separate ways. But I will say this about Tan's family, and Tuesday is one of those people. They never let Derrick go. They never let Garard go. Garard was a part of their family. I don't care what. I remember when, again, he and Tan went their separate ways, and Tuesday and Eileen and her other cousin, I can't think of her name right now, but they were fierce protectors of Garard, and especially when it came to the treatment and medication and stuff that he needed. They act like they was his wives in terms of making sure that he had what he needed. So thank you all for that. I appreciate y'all. And they here tonight too. Some of those donations that came in, the first one came from y'all family. Let me just tell y'all that. The first donation we received came from Tan's family. So I know y'all love Derrick. I appreciate y'all for loving my baby brother. I do. Brenda Wash, welcome. Thank you for coming through. Amy Johnson, thank you for coming through. Tammy Quinn. Lori Bishop, VBTouray, hey girl, I'm glad you're here. Sherelle, thank you for coming through. Y'all know VBTouray is me, right? Okay. moving right along. So everybody's wearing their hat, so I appreciate that. We are honoring Derrick because we know with these hats, because we know that he loved a nice brim. And I am wearing a brim that he bought when he had locks. Y'all remember when he had those locks? Mary saw a picture of him and them locks. Mary said, "Ooh, I didn't know he was that fine. I knew he was fine, but I didn't know he was that fine." Well, I'm wearing one of his roster hats that he was wearing when he was that fine, All right, next on the docket, I think I'm going to move over to, I'm going to catch her off guard, and I'm going to move to Zoe. Zoe, you are on, baby. You are on. What do you have to tell us about your uncle? Let me find your unmute. I want to unmute you.
I could unmute myself.
There you go. You're gonna have to turn down your volume, or either turn down Mary's volume, because you all in the same room, right? Somebody's volume have to be turned down.
Is it working?
Tuesday, Mary Tuesday says she loved you too.
Okay, hold on.
Ooh, that's like some kind of demonic movie. Turn that.
Is it working now?
Okay, hold on. Let me move.
No, it's still like ha 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 ha.
She said that's Derrick. He's visiting us.
Oh, in that case.
Hold on.
Come on, Papa.
Okay.
Or maybe what Mary can do is they should turn theirs all the way down.
I think you got it now. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's better. That's
okay.
Better. Yeah.
I don't know if I have some stories. Like most of y'all probably remember me from when I was like younger and a baby, and I was with my uncle a lot. So, and I was like a cute baby. So that was me. One thing I will say is if I had to trip over one more leg, one more drumstick, one more time, we was gonna have to fight. Oh my God. Drumsticks, all sizes, every Zoe, bring me this drumstick. This one, no, bring me the 3846B. What? Like, huh? No, bring me this leg. Bring me this size. This. How am I supposed to know that, Uncle Rod? And you just bring me what? But like a lot of stuff I remember from when we were younger is like my mom likes to tell me that like the food I ate when I was younger, I was like a very picky eater. And so he would take me to get in this order: barbecue sauce, chicken nuggets from McDonald's, and blue juice. I don't know if y'all know what blue juice is, but you should go get some because it's so good. It's just blue. Like I don't need no explanation. It's so good. It's just blue juice. It's so good. And I had to have like chicken nuggets on the side of my barbecue sauce. So he would always take me to get my food. And I used to love when we had our little uncle niece days, and he would take me to get my barbecue sauce and chicken nuggets and blue juice. And I always spill the stuff in his carpet. He would go off on me and then go spill something too. Because he was just like, he was interesting. He's real picky. But like, I would spill something, then he go spill something, and then we argue about it even when I was like 5. And then we just pick up the next day and do it again. And I think the other thing I miss the most is how much he used to bully me about the boys I like. I'm not going to say no names because I don't know who in here and who know who. So we ain't gonna say no names, but a lot of the boys, like, you know, people he grew up with, they sons, and they, oh, it was so fine. He used to bully me about them all the time. And he would continue to sit there and bully me, and we would be with family. He had to bring it up so and everybody in the family would know. And he would let everybody know, and he would let that person know and let his son know. So I definitely miss that. And I think one of the stories that like Auntie Mary likes to tell a lot, if you guys are at the bonfire, like we would have our grand entrances that we would do, and this is like recent. So we have like the song "All I Do Is Win" by DJ Khaled. That was our grand entrance song. So I would come over and he would be real sick, and me being the favorite niece and all. So me being the favorite niece and all though, I would be able to get him up out of his funk. So I'd go upstairs, he'd be all sad and sick. And I'd be like, all right, come on, let's go do our entrance.
That's not true.
Saida,
There's no favorite. No.
I'm not.
No.
I'm talking to the black boy. She knows I'm the favorite. So we would come upstairs, he'd be all sad and sick, and I'd be like, Uncle Rod, oh, it's time to do our entrance. You ready? You ready? Be like, yeah. This man would take 2 hours just to get ready to do a grand entrance. What can you be fashionably late about? You already, like, you at home. What you being like late about? He would, Zoe, I need this chain. Okay, I get this chain. No, I gotta have the one with the ankh on it. It's gotta have the leather this with the leather that. So when I find that, oh, bring me my Adidas jacket. You know I gotta look fresh when I walk down them steps. Then I go get the Adidas jacket. No, the tan one. Oh, this one don't look right. It don't quite go with my pants. I gotta find the black. So I had to go find that. Oh, help me find my cologne. I would rummage through every door to find whatever cologne he wanted me to have. And then when it was the cologne, oh, wait, I got to find the right thing to go with this necklace. So after an hour, we put on that music, and I come behind him because I had to be the hype man. So he would go down the steps first, get his cane and put on his little pimp walk and walk down them stairs, and I would come behind him with the song just bopping. So I'm definitely going to miss that. That's probably like my favorite story. So we did our last All I Do Is Win at the bonfire. That's probably like the best story I have. He did.
Thank you, Zoe.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good story. Thank you. I'm gonna miss y'all grand entrances too.
They was the best. I'm telling you, I'm the favorite niece. Like, who else? I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm the schnizzle around here. I be killing the game. Y'all don't be believing me.
What's interesting, thank you, Zoe. Thank you. I think what's really interesting is, like she said, he would be so, Mary and I would be talking about the fact that he didn't have no energy to do anything, just nothing, and he could have been in that house for 3, 4, 5 days or more, just like you said, in a funk, and just didn't have the energy to move. But it didn't matter when Zoe came over there with her plan. It's the same thing every time, so she come over there just like she said. She, where Uncle Rod? And Auntie Mary say, he not doing good. He upstairs laying down. He upstairs, he upstairs. She go upstairs, but when she come down, here he come in front of her like, yeah, all I do, So
cane and all, cane walker,
right.
scooting on his ass. It didn't matter.
So we too will miss his grand entrances, because like I said, he couldn't, sometimes he didn't have the energy or the desire to do anything until she came with that whole get up that they would do. So we are all gonna miss your grand entrance. Thank you, Zoe. All right, I'm going to start pulling you all out of the room because there are people that keep trying to get in and they can't get in because we can only have 10 in the waiting room. So I am going to let you go, Zoe. Thank you. I'm going to let Big Will go. Thank you. And then some of the others who wanted to get in can come in, or can come to the waiting room at least, and then I'll let you know. We'll be able to pull you back in. So let me do this too. See who else in here? Brenda, watch, I got you. Tracy said that girl is hilarious. Destiny, I know you have a story to tell. You definitely have a song to sing. That I do know. Kenneth and Patrice Washington is in the room. Welcome. The room is full, Vicky. She said, okay, it's not full anymore. So I just pulled some people out. So let me look and see if anybody's trying to get in. No one knew yet, but when you come, I'm ready to let you in. Meanwhile, let me go over here to this banner, and I do want to run this banner. Let me get rid of this one. Let me see. All right, so we hit that one. Okay, so as you all see there, this is, as you see at the bottom of the screen it's the right for me, You see Cash App VBTouray, you see Zelle VBTouray at gmail.com, and you see PayPal VBTouray at Yahoo. A lot of people have asked about how they can help and how they can assist financially. And so you may send something to Derrick's stuff. Let me just say that his stuff, using any of those, just put in the subject line that is for DGB, Derrick, Garard, Brent. Say it's for DGB, and then I won't spend it for nothing else, right? I'll make sure that his stuff is taken care of. But you better put DGB in there because a sister love a bag. Put DGB in there. I see Lois shaking her head like, yeah, me too. Yeah, oh, yeah. So make sure you put DGB because we want to make sure that we use it accordingly, that we use it to take care of his expenses and you know, the things that people leave behind. Nobody in here is crazy. You know, people have expenses to go. Thankfully, he didn't make it too bad for us because we knew what he wanted, right? And we have other things. We leave other things behind. So if you want to be a blessing to Derrick, then that's how you can be a blessing to Derrick. If you rather send something by mail, then I will give you Mary's address at the end of this broadcast, and you can send something directly to her mailbox, either or. If you send it to Mary, you're sending it to me so that we can handle his business. If you send it to me, you're sending it to Mary so you can handle his business. Okay. All right. So let me check on the comments real quick, and then the next person on will be Elisa and Mommy. So let me see. All right. So no one new in yet. I am unmuting Lois and
hold on.
Elisa.
Sorry, Vicky.
Okay.
Kenny and Tuesday keep trying to get in.
Let me see. Okay, I don't see. Or maybe I should let me remove. Yep.
I'm trying
Zoe,
to watch the comments.
I'm kicking you out from the studio. That's probably why they can't get in. Kick out the guests. It says kick Zoe out. Okay, Zoe, I'm kicking you out. Sonny, I'm kicking you from the studio. That's why they can't get in. Now they should be able to get in.
Okay, who is MEBH? They trying to get in too.
That's Sister Hogan. And I'm gonna have room for looks like at least 3 to 4 more right now. Okay. Roderick Edison, it says that he's not connected. Because he's somewhere else. Okay, let me kick this one out. All right, so that's gonna give me some room. And I'm gonna kick Will out right now. Wait, we heard Will's story. So I'm kicking Will out. All right, so we got room now. Okay. Akina Long Benton, hello and welcome. Three Face is welcome. Okay, so how we're doing this? Let me let you all know how we're doing. You got 5 to 7 minutes to tell your story, and we're just kind of rotating people in as you come. So if you don't get in like in the next 10 or 12 minutes, just hang out and you'll be able to get in soon. I see Ken Wash, so I'm going to add him to the stream. Hey, Kenny.
Hey, Vic.
Welcome.
Hey. How's everybody doing today?
We are doing good. Thank you. And there is room for maybe 3 more to come in. So if you try before, you can try again.
Yeah, going to get in.
All right. So we're hearing from Lois and Elisa. You all unmute yourself. All right. Welcome.
Hi, guys. You going to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, I'm really going to miss Gerard. When I came to the church, he was a drummer.
What church? Stand up. What church?
New Jerusalem Deliverance.
Oh, that church.
Yes, that's the first time I came to the church, and
I met New Jerusalem, not the New Jerusalem.
But I knew Vicky first because we went to high school together. Mm-hmm. So as I became a member of the church, Roderick was my husband at the time. Him and Garard was very close. Mm-hmm. And so that's how I became to know Garard. And over the years, we built a little brother, big sister relationship. And after me and Roger got divorced, Garard asked me, can I be your kid's big brother? And I said, of course. He said, because I'm going to take them under my wings. And when they get bad, I'm going to beat their aspirin. I said, you going to have that right. So I loved him. And we was neighbors as well. We lived in the same apartment complex. And this is a story. It was so funny because one Sunday we was at church and he came to me, he said, "What you cooking?" I said, "Oh, I'm cooking some pork chops." And he was like, "Oh, you cooking some pork chops? I'm coming over for dinner." I said, "Okay." So he came over for dinner. So when he got done, he reared back in the seat. He said, "Man, I know your mama was a black woman." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Because you know you cooked them pork chops." And I said, "Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate it." So then we went to church. So the next Sunday, he came to me. He said, "Lois," I said, "What? What you cooking?" And I told him. He said, "You're not cooking no pork chops." I said, "No, I'm not cooking no pork chops." 3 hours later, something knocking at my door. I'm like, I go in, I go open the door. He's standing there with a bag of pork chops and said, "Can you cook these for me?" I said, "Gerard, are you serious?" He said, "Yeah, I'm serious." So I cooked the pork chop. And another thing that I'm going to miss about Gerard, I invited him to my mom's church. And my mom's church was a strict apostolic church. I mean, strict. So they asked me to sing. So I sung, and Gerard was like, "I didn't know you could sing." And I was like, "Yeah." So every time he came to my house, he said, "Lois, hit it for me." And I would say, "Joy bells ringing in my soul. I got joy bells ringing in my soul." And oh my God, he would be kicking his legs and going like this. I'm telling you, he would never let me live that down. He always wanted me to sing that song. And another thing, Roger reminded me, he was like, "Mama," one time I had got on Gerard about not taking care of himself. And I was giving it to him. He said, he got so mad. And this is the first time he ever got mad at me. He got mad. He said, he was struggling off the couch. "I'm getting out of here." And and he stormed out. I didn't see Gerard. Now we're neighbors. I didn't see Gerard, but in about 3 or 4 days. And then I hear a knock on the door. I come down and go through standing there. It was me. And I said, "Gerard." And he gonna push me out the way to myself. "I didn't come to see you. I came to see my brother and sister." I'm gonna really miss him because that was a part of our family. He was a part of our family, you know, and everybody in my family loved Gerard. My parents, my siblings, they loved him because he was always the same. He never changed. What you saw Gerard, you saw Gerard. And that's what I'm going to miss the most. And he know that I love him dearly. Yeah. That's my story.
That's your story. You sticking to it.
Yes.
Okay.
He
great.
does. He did know that. You know, it's interesting because you know, I can feel, you know, genuine love for people. When people genuinely love you, you can feel it, right? And I feel that when you all talk. I sense it when you talk. But I think the wonderful thing is that I know that it was reciprocated. I know it because the stories that he told me, you know, I didn't, y'all know, I moved to different places and I was in different places. So a lot of times I wasn't connected to our tribe here in Pontiac, right? But Gerard would keep me connected with his stories about people and things and what have you. So when I hear you all talk, some of the stuff I've already heard, right? Some of it is new, but what I do know and what I can gather from what he's told me, what you told me, is that the relation, that the love was mutual. Yeah, you know, that it was reciprocated. So that is the blessing that we're celebrating today. The love that was real, you know. Yeah. Welcome, Jabril. Brother Jabril is here, and I think it's Shira Washington. She says, "One of the most hilarious people I ever knew." Yeah, I heard that. All right, so I'm letting Brian Burnett in if I can. It might be too many on the stream right now. Let me see. Let me see who I can add. Okay, hey. Party is here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Hello.
All right, so let me hear. Welcome to Tuesday and welcome to Brian. We are going to hear from Miss Elisa, and then we will move on. Miss Elisa, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. You know
Give
what?
us what you got. Give us what you got. Give us what you got.
I want to shout out to Zoe because she gave a great introduction to Gerard. At least for me, he was a bully. Okay, was the bully of my life. every time I saw Gerard, I know one thing: he's going to talk about me. But it's all love because I was going to talk about him back. And as I got older, he always used to tell a story. He's like, I used to come over, you was little, I used to put you on a wall, and you used to be kicking and screaming at me. And I'm like, yeah, because my mama didn't raise no punk. Okay, I was going to fight back for my life. Even though I was little, I was going to fight back. And also when I got older, granted, it was he went to a different church, but I used to come, Pastor Joyce church. So it was one guy there that liked me. He was younger than me, but Gerard every single Sunday or Wednesday or whenever I came to the church, he was gonna bring that up. He was like, your little boyfriend over there, he gonna sing this song at y'all wedding. I'm like, yo, chill out, don't do me. But Derrick, I love Derrick. I know I was his little sister. Like no one can ever tell me that I wasn't. Like I said, he was my greatest bully. But yeah, he always had that laughter. He gonna sing if you ask him to sing, he gonna sing for you now. So he was great. I loved him, and I'm so happy that God just brought him in my life, and with my other tribe that's been on here. So yeah, love him.
Amen. Zoe says, Saiba said you got to tell the metal car or the super kick story. Okay. The metal car or the super. Okay. So thank you, Alicia. Thank you very much, my dear. All right. My daughters are telling me I need to tell his the metal car or the super.
No, let Kenny tell the story about the car with Will and him in the Jeep.
I don't know that one. That's new. I don't know that one. So Kenny, you heard that?
Yeah, I heard it. I got, y'all know I got 1,000 stories. I kind of narrowed them down to a couple. I'm trying to remember what William talked about, but I know William did have a Jeep that we used to roll around in a lot. And we didn't have no brand new cars when we was coming up, and William was one of the first to get a car. And he got this blue Jeep, and it was rusted through, and it didn't have no doors or anything like that. I think it was supposed to be like that, but when we rode around in it, we had a great time, and that's really all I can remember about it. William had to share the story. I think I missed that part.
Dude, you don't remember getting into the car accident, or it was about to get into a car accident? They said they was looking for you somehow. He said, Will, when he stopped the truck, you was in the front, but you ended up in the back behind the seat underneath a wheel.
Yeah, I don't think that was the Jeep though. I thought that was his mother's car, but it was been so long ago. I mean, one of the things that's really been cool about all of this is that it's just giving me an opportunity to really remember a lot of fun times that we used to have. And I don't want to, step on nobody else's toes. I don't know whose turn it was next, but I'll definitely await my turn, and whoever's next, they can go ahead and share.
Well, what do you want a few minutes, or you want to go first? Because if you want to go now, you can, or I'll go now.
You can go ahead, and then I'll go after you.
You meant to think about? Okay.
Yep.
So I won't tell the super kick or the metal car story, at least not right now. Maybe I'll tell one of them at the end. Because the super kick, I don't know that. I mean, I remember it, but I would love for Booby or Red to tell it because they were there, or Brad, right? The metal car, maybe I'll get around to that one later. But what I want to share now is I'm going to share this story about how cheap his ass was. He was so damn cheap. Oh, he was cheap. Lord, he was cheap. He was cheap. You hear me say cheap? I'm like a bird. Cheap. He was so cheap. I remember when we were, when I went to Wilberforce University, I was the first in my immediate family to go to school. So that was a big deal, right? Now, Wilberforce, if you all don't know, Wilberforce is only like 4 hours from us, 4.5 if you drive slow, 3 if you drive fast. So it's not far. But because I was the first in the immediate family to go, it was a big deal. So when I went to school, like, whether my parents were dropping me off for the new semester, or I come home for the holiday, and Okay, my cousin Sherelle said we still have 3 original folks that have not shared. I know we're gonna make sure we get everybody. My father would, pack up the car. My mother would do those, like you going down south. She'd make them sandwiches like, y'all ain't got to stop nowhere because the ones that the mayonnaise get real moist and warm and it tastes better than it do if you made it at home. It like that, and the chicken in the shoebox and it tastes better in the shoebox after the first day than it did when he first got in the car. She would do the whole thing like we was really going somewhere. But what my father really liked was he really liked rallies, or what we call rallies or checkers, right? In Ohio, it was the same company, but it was called Snaps. So my father would say, I want to get me, every time he went to Ohio, went to Wilberforce, he would always stop and get a snap burger or a snap meal. Because he said they taste like down south burgers. He said that. He said they taste like homemade, like somebody made them at home, like the down south burgers. So that was his plan. He never went to Wilberforce without getting one of them. So Garard's cheap ass, he must have been maybe Garard was about 13 at the time. And I don't know if y'all remember, Garard was chunky when he was 13. He would eat up everything, right? So my daddy, he knew that was the plan, right? So my dad had told my mother, he said to my mom, he said, I gave this little nigga his allowance. He said, because whenever we go to Snaps, he want to order everything on the menu. He said, I done gave this little nigga his allowance. So when we get there, don't you say nothing, because you ain't buying nothing and I'm not buying nothing. He buying his own meal. My mama say, okay. So they get to Snaps. And my daddy said to Garard, he turned around, Garard, yeah. He like between the seats, yeah. What you want from Snap? What you want? What you want to eat? Oh, it's my turn? He said, yeah, go ahead and order what you want. This is him between 2 seats. Okay, I'm gonna have give me a double cheeseburger. Give me a large fry. Let me have extra cheese on the cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, extra cheese, large fry. Let me have a large. No, let me have a shake. Let me have a chocolate shake, and let me have and an apple pie. My daddy say, you gonna eat all that? Yeah. He said, boy, you ain't gonna eat all that shit. He said, yeah, I'm gonna eat it, Daddy. I'm gonna eat it. They said, okay. The whole while my father said, okay, he hit my mama on the leg like this. He said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna eat it. They said, you gonna eat all of that? I'm gonna eat all of it, Daddy. I'm gonna eat all of it. Daddy said, okay. Daddy pulled on up to the window. He said, how much is the order? The woman said what the order was, and of course the bulk of the order belonged to Garard. My dad turned around and said, Garard? He said, huh? He said, give me $15. Garard said, huh? He said, give me $15. Oh, I'm paying for it? Daddy said, yeah, nigga, you paying for it. Gerard said, oh, I don't need all that. I ain't gonna eat all that. That's probably too much for me to eat anyway. You can take off the chocolate shake because I got some water back here. I don't need that. And the double cheeseburger is probably too much meat for me. I don't need that. Daddy said, oh, you don't need that. No, I ain't gonna. I'm just gonna take a small fry. So give me a cheeseburger and a small fry. Listen, that was a perfect example of how cheap that little Negro was. That Negro was cheap. He could squeeze the president's head off of a penny. Do you hear what I said? He could squeeze the copper out the penny. He was so cheap. God in heaven knows he was cheap. Lord have mercy. Okay, I'm done. Moving
Can I say something real quick, Vicky?
Yes, you can.
Okay, because I gotta get back to work. But
sure.
I want to thank you for giving us Derrick and letting us have him for as long as we did. We never was letting him go. So, but when you said cheap, it just brought back. Do you remember when he had that white Sentra, that Nissan Sentra car?
I do.
Okay, so that was my car, and I got into an accident, and so my husband said, "Well, I'm not getting that car fixed. You just get a new car." So it's sat in the garage for a while. So one day, Derrick, after him and Tan got married, he came over. He said, "What's wrong with that car?" I said, "I don't know. I ain't getting it fixed. I'm just getting. I got a new car." He said, "Oh, okay." I said, "You need a car?" He said, "Yeah." "How much?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Nothing?" I said, "No, you don't gotta pay me nothing." He like, "You sure?" I said, "No, you got." He said, "Tutu." He the only person that called me Tutu. Don't nobody else ever call me that. He can the only one call me Tutu. He said, "Tutu, not even $100. I give you." I said, "No, you could just have the car, dear. Just take the car." So he took the car, and it ended up being only like $700 to get the car fixed. And he was like, "Man, it cost me so much money to get that car fixed." I said, "Boy, you got a whole car for $700. What you mean that cost you a lot of money?" And he rode that car for years. Do you remember that white car, that white Nissan Sentra? Yep,
That's where he got that car.
Yep, he got it from me. I got somebody hit me, and I never got it fixed. I just ended up getting another car, but it was only $700 to get it fixed. He's like, "Man, I had to spend so much money getting this car fixed." And I'm thinking, like, you did not have to spend no money to get that car fixed.
A whole car for $700.
The whole car. But I just remember him. We had so many funny stories and funny times together. But him and his singing and those drums and always beating on Nana table. But I talked to him a few weeks before he went into the hospital. And we talked on the phone. Yep, we laughed, we prayed. He asked, he said, "What's Aunt Wani's number?" My mom, my mom. He said, because I called, but she had a different house number because she moved. And so I said, "I'll call her on three-way." So we stayed on three-way for like an hour. And he said, "Send me some pictures of the kids." And so Jatara, my youngest, was Tan's goddaughter. He and Tan's goddaughter. And he said, I said, "Well, Tara having a baby." He said, "So I'm gonna be a granddaddy?" I said, "I guess so." He like, "Tutu, I can't be no granddaddy out here. I got kids. My kids ain't even old enough for me to be no granddaddy out here." I said, "Well, look, you need to call Jatara and talk to Jatara about that, because I ain't got nothing to do with that. That is your business with her. You call her." And so I'm telling you, we prayed, we laughed, we cried, we talked. My mom got on the phone, she prayed. He talked to my husband. And we had the best. When we first got on the phone, he was kind of down and sad. But when we got off that phone, we was laughing. I mean, laughed with tears coming out our eyes, laughing. So I'm just going to always remember him for that funny guy. I could call anytime. He could call me. And like Mary said, at the doctor's office, when he came in there, I had to make it happen quick. I didn't care who was where, who was doing what. When he came in there, all of it stopped.
Period.
For him. Period.
Period. She got me doctor's notes to get off of work for my husband.
I had to.
But he told me that. He told me, he shared that with me many times. And he said how y'all, how y'all protected him, how you made sure that he had what he needed. And even when it came to medication and stuff that, his insurance didn't want to pay for, he said Tuesday be like, "Wait a minute, hold on, no, let me get a hold of this, blah, blah, blah." He said Tuesday, get that taken care of in 30 minutes. It's done. Done.
Like, no matter whatever happened with him and Tan, they did whatever it is. But I saw firsthand how Mary took care of him. And I loved her from day one. I can't love Derrick without loving her, even though he, Tan was my cousin, but Mary my cousin too, because Derrick my cousin, you my cousin, Zoe my cousin, but Derrick was always laughing. And that's how I want to remember him, laughing or with them playing them drums or cracking jokes or singing me a song. I'm like, "Derrick, sing me another song. I'm tired of this song. You sing it." He used to, oh my God, I can't even remember the song. He used to sing the song over and over again. I can't even remember the name of the song, but I just say, "Can you sing me another song?" Because I always used to put him on the spot. "Derrick, sing for somebody right quick. Sing this song." He can sing this. He will always sing the same song. Always sing the same song.
Was it very superstitious?
Yes. That's the exact song. Yes, he was.
That's his karaoke wonder right there.
I say, "Derrick, sing another song, please. Please get you another song in the queue, because you can't keep singing that song." But I love y'all. Mary, when you need whatever you need, call me. I'm here. Always, But Vicky, I love Mary so much. I saw firsthand how she took care of him. how she advocated for him, how she was there. She was just never, she was always on his side, like no matter what happened. She was always speaking up, speaking out, and she was ready for anything. She didn't care. She was ready. She was there. And I was right next to her, ready. Like, what? Who said what?
Ferocious about him. Ferocious.
Yes. And I saw it firsthand. So Mary, I love you. Vicky, I love you. Girls, I love you. Everybody. But Derrick was a blessing to everybody, and I'm gonna miss him. But I'm gonna miss those just random calls. Hey, Tutu. I'd be like, Derrick, what? He's what I do? I'm looking.
What is going on?
What did I do? Right? What did I do? He was like, oh, nothing. I'm just calling to see what you was doing, how you was doing. And I remember one year he wanted to go. He wanted to take DJ to the mall for his birthday. And I said, he's like, but I don't never have no ride. Can't nobody take me. I said, don't worry, I'll come pick you up. I'll take you. Like, you will? I said, Derrick, quit playing with me. You know we family. We always gonna be family no matter what, you know. I got you. So I went and picked him up and I dropped him off. And he like, you gonna wait for me? I said, Derrick, whatever you need me to do.
You sound just like him when you said that. You gonna wait?
You gonna wait for me? Yeah. But I always talk, whatever you need us to do, we got you. So like you said in the beginning, our family, we always, he was still our cousin. He was still their nephew. He was still our family. So we're gonna miss him. So,
well, I know that to be a fact.
Yes.
So thank you. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Yeah. And Mary, call me if you need me. And hey, everybody. But I got to get back. I just want the people here and say what I had to say. I'm gonna miss him.
We appreciate you.
I'm gonna miss it. And you know, I was the only one that can call him DBZ. His number in my phone says DBZ, and I'm Tutu. Tutu and DBZ. So,
well, thank you.
All right, love y'all.
Thank you. Listen, tell everybody we said hello. Okay.
I will. I sure will. All right. Bye bye.
All right. Love you much. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's welcome Sister Gail is in here. Thank you for coming together. Destiny is in here, and Kevin. I'm sorry. Oh my God, not Kevin. Kenny and Miss Kenny gonna pick this up right here. So y'all got the floor.
Hey everybody, my name is Kenny Washington, and me and Derrick, man, lifelong friends. We were best friends for over 30 years. And, you know, I got plenty of stories. I got thousands of stories. And we could be here all night, but I do just want to share a couple. So if y'all know anything about Derrick, you know, Derrick was, you know, a great musician. He's a great friend, great person, but you know, Derrick, one of his gifts was that he was, you know, he was funny, great comedian. And so junior high school, always cracking jokes on each other. And if I know Derrick, one of the things he always loved to do, he always liked to call somebody ugly. And so, of course, you know, me being his, you know, one of his best friends or whatever, he always calling me ugly. He used to always call me Fozzie Bear. You know, hey, Fozzie, what's going on, Fozzie? And, you know, I would always say, man, I know you ain't talking no junk about me over there looking like Rerun from What's Happening. So that was kind of like our thing. We would just go back and forth and nothing was off limits. I mean, absolutely nothing. We would talk about each other's parents. We talk about each other's brothers and sisters just all day long. But one day, I did get mad when he was talking about my parents, and we was at church and he was talking about my dad. My dad, I guess he caught the Holy Ghost at church. And after church, you know, him and a couple of my other buddies from high school, you know, they get to talking about my dad and they saying, man, Mr. Washington, Reverend Washington was up there running. When he caught the Holy Ghost, he had to sit down and he couldn't even finish shouting right, you know, before he had to catch his breath, and he just start breathing and they just start making all these asthmatic noises and they was laughing at me. And that's when I was like, you know, I said some stuff. I started cussing at him in church, and all the people in church, they heard me, and then they was like, I'm gonna tell your daddy. And so after that, I think we kind of stopped talking about each other's parents. But that's just the type of person he was. That's how we was. I think that was just my turn to get mad because of course, I probably, I said plenty of things to piss him off, and we just always pushed each other when it came to the jokes and stuff like that. But it's kind of weird because, with everything that was going on, I talked to Derrick probably about 2 weeks ago, and I was telling my wife, I was like, something was different about this conversation. It wasn't like he was saying goodbye to me, but we was catching up after not talking for a really long time. And I was like, he don't sound like he got that fight in him like he used to. Think he getting tired. I was telling myself this. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I got the call from Mary. And then obviously the next day I got the news that Derrick had passed away. But here's my last story, and I'll just end it with this. About 10 minutes after I got the call about Derrick passing away, a good friend of ours by the name of Kareem White, he just called me out the blue. I hadn't talked to him probably about 6 or 7 months. And he calls me and he's just cracking up and he's laughing. Now, when he called me, I thought, okay, he must have found out about Derrick because we all were in band together. Mm-hmm. And so he's cracking up about this joke that me and Derrick was telling, and we was cracking on one of our other friends because obviously that's all we did in school. We didn't learn. We just cracked jokes all day. And if you think about anything that we did, it's always centered around teasing somebody. And so Kareem goes on for about 5 minutes, and now I'm crying because I just found out Derrick passed away. But this joke that he was telling me that me and Derrick was telling or kind of cracking on somebody else with, it lifted my spirits. And I kind of was like, Derrick, damn it, you just gonna not let me cry about you being here. You're gonna insert yourself in this some way, somehow. And that's just the type of person he was. He really didn't want nobody being sad or feeling sorry for him. And I felt like that was his energy in that moment, really infused in that conversation. And he was like, best friend, don't cry over me. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm not hurting no more. I'm resting. And I want you to continue to laugh because that's what we used to do. If nothing else, we was just going to laugh and have a good time. So I say all that to say, this is exactly what he wanted us to do. I'm going to miss him like crazy. Been knowing him since I was 5 years old. We was drum majors in high school together. We was each other's best man in each other's wedding. And he's irreplaceable to me. I mean, nobody's going to ever take his place. So that's all I got, man. I love you, Derrick. And man, we lived it up and lived life to the fullest when we was together. So that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, really. Thank you, Kenny.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Miss Kenny, you got something to say?
The only thing I would say is that I got to see the type of intimacy that happens between two men who really love each other and hold each other down. And that is something that I consider a gift because in our community, people believe that does not happen. And so the friendship that they had and the ways that they sort of just engaged in like pure tomfoolery at all times, it was a testament to how much they loved each other, because at the same time, if something real was happening in either one of their lives, they were stepping up for each other. Like, people don't know this, but when we were transitioning from Kalamazoo to Detroit, Kenny lived with Derrick while I was sort of shutting our home down in Kalamazoo. So we were married couple separated, and he lived with Derrick like the bachelor life. I'm talking about serious bachelor life, on his couch, camping out with him so that he could move our family, down to this side of the state. And he's been so involved in significant transitions in our life, so quietly, but with this huge servant's heart, he was there. He was the comedy and the entertainment on our first date. So like there is no story that we have as a couple that doesn't include Derrick.
Right.
Like I literally was taken on a date to go see, I'm gonna take you down to see my best friend. He's singing in this group with this dude. And I'm thinking like, okay, that sounds fun, I think. But the craziness of it all is it's the funniest story. It's the most memorable first date I ever had in my life. I will never forget it. It turns into a marriage. I spent the date with all of them.
William
in a
Derrick,
small blue, what was it, like a sky
Cavalier?
Because everybody from Pontiac, I'm from Detroit, everybody from Pontiac's car got towed in a freaking winter storm. So Kenny, being the best friend that he wasn't gonna leave his boys hanging because he out with this new lady that he trying to get with. So I had to sit in the car with them. At the conclusion of our date, we had dinner together. Like every part of the date included Derrick and William. They was packed up 6 feet tall plus, all balled up in the back seat, while he's like trying to be romantic and drop me off, and they still cracking on him the whole time. And so for me, it was the disaster of a date that like it was a snowstorm. My sweater was shedding. I thought it was cashmere. It was not. They were roasting that. It was like cashmere, fake sweater all over the car. Two big giant dudes in the back seat with all their instruments and stuff. It was terrible and wonderful all at the same time. But what it helped me to know was that he was the kind of man who had a community of men around him that I could look at and say, okay, he might be okay. Like he's not just for play. Like he's a keeper, and not just because he's fun and funny, but also because he has people who love him and they're going to keep him accountable to be the kind of man that, that I want in my life. So I just appreciate Derrick for that, because he was a best man in all senses of the word. Like he kept Kenny honest and a good husband and serving me and, helping raise our family and keeping him up. And, when things were difficult in marriage, he was, cheering him up and, encouraging him to keep going and different things like that. And it's just been a pleasure, to be a part of their friendship experience. So thanks for asking, Vicky. And, I love your brother, Mary, your husband, my dude, like seriously, like super, like the best man, for sure.
And y'all already know this, Mary, you can call me anytime. Vic, anything you need, I'm here. All you got to do is reach out. That's until the end. So, yeah.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So more people have come into. Thank you all. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. More people have come into the room. So I've let some more people into the waiting room. Thank you for coming in. Erica Collum. I haven't seen Erica in a long time, so I'm glad to see you. Joy Jefferson is trying to get in here. I'm not sure what's going on with her screen. It's just spinning, but I'm going to hold your space. And we are going to move on to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, come on through. Kenny and Miss Kenny.
Hold on.
Y'all out, okay? But don't y'all go nowhere. Okay.
My stepkids has entered the building. Say hello.
Hi.
Oh, the little ones are here. Hey, Deanna. Where are the others? Oh, there's Deuce. Hey, Deuce.
Look, you know the mama's boy wasn't coming.
Mama's boy with mama. Okay.
Yeah.
So Daniel's with mommy. All right. So Jeremiah, you ready?
Yes, I am.
We ready for you?
Yes. A story. I've been thinking of one. Well, it's always this classic story Gerald always tell how he hung me on a wall and had me there kicking and screaming and left me on a nail. So that's
a nail.
Yes, I was that tall where he could just hang me on a nail. So it was back in our old apartment in Spring Lake. So that's one of our classic story he always bring up no matter what. You remember that time I hung you on that nail on the wall? Yes, yes, I remember that time you left me on the wall hanging there. And then my second one is when actually got in trouble in school and the sub knew Derrick because one, Pontiac is so small that everybody knew each other, and then we was always with him. So she said, "Come here." I was like, "What? I didn't do nothing." The whole class was acting up, so I'm the one that gets singled out because she knows Garard. So she said, "Which one we do? Call your parents or call Gerard?" Me, call Gerard. Thinking I'm gonna get off. Thinking I'm gonna get off easy. No, that he did not let me off. None whatsoever. He called like, "Oh, I'm gonna call your mom." He said, "I'm gonna call your mama." Like, no. Yeah. So what you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna act right. All right, cause you know better, right? Yes. He threatened to come up here too. So I'm like, okay, don't come up here. So I always loved him for that because he got me in order at that time. That's one of my great memories of him. Even though I was in trouble, it's still like a great memory of Gerard and everything. Even though Roger was his tag along, I was the tag along behind the tag along. So it was Derrick, Roger, me sometimes. So always the tag along of the tag along. So I enjoyed that. For one, we always went everywhere together. So just remember those fun times. That's all I can just remember of Gerard.
Jeremiah, when you talk about a tag along, it reminds me of the time that he was a tag along, because Gerard was a tag along when it came to me and my friends at New Jerusalem, right? Because we, there's an 8-year difference between me and Gerard. So my friends were older. I was hanging out with De Niro and Sonny and Sharice and Gerard and Joyce, who also just made her transition. That's a whole nother story. But we were, Rudy and Roslyn and Mark and Jenny, we were hanging out. But Gerard, I guess because, he was a second generation child. There were 8 years between he and I, and then 12 years between he and his older brother. So I think because he had older siblings, he just assumed that he could hang out with us, right? So even when I be in my room with Joyce, because me and Joyce were close, real close. So we came up from like 13 up. So we be in there, giggling and cackling about little boys. We can't get rid of Gerard. It's just 2 teenage girls, and he in the room like this. I'm like, Gerard, get out of my room. What? I'm not doing nothing. You doing something. You looking at me. Get out of my room, but I'm just sitting in here. I mean, I'm not doing nothing but sitting there. And this was his thing. This is the thing when I tell him, get out of my room. His thing was this. This was his word. Oh, man. Oh, man. I can't tell you how many times I heard that. If Joyce Wallace was here, she would probably start cringing because it would make her so angry. He would say the same thing every time I say, get out. Oh, man. Oh, man. And unfortunately, Mama wouldn't really make him get out until she got sick and tired of hearing my mouth. Then she'd be like, Gerard, come out of that room, come out of there. Oh, and he'd throw his head to the side. Starlet, you remember that? Throw his head to the side. He had a high booty because he was chunky. He had a high booty. He threw his head to the side. Oh, man. So he's been that tag along that you're talking about himself until we got to be maybe, Sonny would say this. I'm gonna have to give this to Sonny and De Niro. They'd be like Teddy. They'd be like, oh, he all right. Let him hang out. They probably said, Erica said high booty. Girl, the booty was high. It was just high. It was high booty. They would say, oh, let him hang out. Now they probably did that because he was funny, but he was still my little brother. 8 years, I'm 8 years his senior. He was getting on my damn nerves, period. But then when he got to be maybe about maybe 16-ish, maybe 15, 16-ish, he started getting a little cool that I could deal with, right? He didn't have no cool before then. He didn't have nothing but get on my nerve. But about 16-ish, he started getting a little cool factor. And I was like, okay, I could probably do this. I could probably do this. And that's when I welcomed him in and stopped fighting him. And he was no longer the tag along. So I get that tag along thing. I do get that tag along thing. Okay. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you very much. All right, I am kicking Jeremiah out, but don't you go nowhere. And looks like Mary is doing a pop quiz in the chat. She said, what is Derrick's favorite color? Anybody know? Anybody know?
Tanya already got it. She said blue. She's the winner.
She said blue. That's it. That's right.
Can I go next? If y'all can hear me.
Who said that? Who said is that
It's
Brian?
Brian. Brian is me.
Yes,
Brian.
you may, Ryan. You may go next. How you doing, sir?
Good, Vicky. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing good.
Good. So I've been knowing I'm Lois's nephew, Roderick and Lisa, Teddy. All they big. I'm their big cousin. I've been knowing Derrick, Garard, man, since the house on the south side. He was cutting my hair. Vicky, that house on the south side. I remember, as a young dude, my auntie Lois would take us over there, and Derrick would cut our hair. And I just remember, as I got older, I was telling Roger, me and Roger were talking earlier, and I was talking about how Derrick was one of the reasons. He was actually one of the first people who I came to see play in the Pontiac church, because we always went to church down in Detroit. And so me and Roger called me one day, was like, "Hey, let's go hear Derrick play Messiah." So we used to go up there all the time. And as I got older, I would hang with Derrick a lot. Derrick actually introduced me to Kenny. I don't know if Kenny can hear it or not, but Derrick put me in my first singing group. And Roger remember this. We didn't go nowhere. We ain't do nothing. But me, Derrick, I think it was me, Derrick, Kenny. I think Darnell was playing organ, Roger was playing drums. But we used to rehearse at Messiah, and we didn't do nothing. But it was just those times where Derrick, we used to go to karaoke a lot. And I remember Derrick, I don't care what nobody said, Music Soul Child didn't write love. Derrick wrote love, because every time we went to karaoke, Derrick was gonna sing love, and I used to be like, "Nigga, can you sing a different song besides love?" But no, I love Derrick. Derrick was like, I was telling Roger earlier, I didn't call some people like big brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Derrick was definitely big brother. So when I got the news, I definitely cried, definitely shared some tears, because that one hurt. I'm happy that I was privileged enough to, I don't know if his wife remember now, but I was able to meet her and Derrick at the mall. And so I was happy. So I'm happy I was able to meet his wife. I think we ended up seeing him again at the furniture store, and we was kicking it for hours. But like I said, I got so many stories of Derrick, and I'm not gonna even try to share them all. But I truly love him. He was definitely he was a fighter. Like I said, I knew everything if he had been through, and I'm just happy he's at peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Derrick was a good man, and I'm definitely gonna miss him, and I love him. So I just wanted to come in here and share that. So.
Brian, I heard your name a many day. I didn't know who Brian was. I knew you were connected to Lois, but I didn't know how. But I will tell you this: I heard your name a many day. Yeah, absolutely. So I know he loved you too, because I have heard your name.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
He called your name. He called you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. All right, for those of you who are waiting to come into the room, I just put it. I'll put it back in there right now. Again, I'm putting the entry link into the chat right now. It went out to everyone. It says StreamYard.com and blah 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 blah. All you have to do is copy that and paste it into your search bar, and then it will take you into the bring you into the background, the back room. Okay, so on Derrick's transitional bed, it was about 48 hours, I think, that Mary, would you say about 48 hours where we knew his decision was he was going to ride it on out, right?
Yes.
About 48 hours. And in that 48 hours, he was able to speak to quite a few people that he felt like he needed to either give a word to or hear a word from. Quite a few people. And one of those people, of course, was his first niece ever to be born. Zoe and Saeed would like to say they the favorite niece. And I'm gonna let them have that because that's them. But I am gonna say that the first niece is Destiny. That was Gerard's baby. Cornell baby. So I'm just gonna let them have it because they need to have it while they over there. And I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna leave it at that. But Destiny was the very first. And when he called Destiny, I'm gonna try not to cry, y'all. I did a whole lot of that. But when he called Destiny, he told Destiny what he was calling her for and why he wanted to speak to her, and Destiny cried.
Mhm.
And in a few minutes, matter of minutes, Destiny stopped crying, and all of a sudden we heard her singing. And when I say singing, I mean singing with no cracking, no nothing, just singing. And me and Mary both started wailing. And when she got through singing, she cleared up her throat. Wait, when she got through singing, she cleared up her throat and then started crying again. So it was just a very beautiful and you know, one day I'll tell you all the story, and it won't be today because I want it to be a happy. I don't want everybody to leave crying, but I'm gonna tell you that Garard's transition was probably one of the most beautiful experiences things I've experienced. Really, it really was. It was otherworldly. It was something I didn't expect, but it was otherworldly, and it was you know how they say we in church, they say we need to do everything in decency and in order. It was decent, and it was in order. It was decent and in order. So the song that she sang, her auntie said, Destiny, when you come on Friday, Auntie Mary said, I need you to sing that song. So Destiny is here, and Destiny is going to sing y'all a song. Destiny, ready?
Destiny, I need you to sing it how you sung it when you sung it to him that night, okay? Pull that
Okay.
your gut down under.
Uncle Rod was he was one of my biggest supporters. You know, he was at every concert, and I used to always, you know, hold it. Didn't tell him nothing when I had a solo. And by the end of the concert, he'd be about crying. It's like, oh, Destiny, you did so good. You did so good. Every time I saw him, he was, can you sing me a song? Can you play something on the piano? Every time he saw me. So when he asked me to sing for him, yeah, I broke down. I won't lie, I broke down. But I knew I had to do it just for him, and I didn't know what to sing at first. But this is one of my favorite songs that I sing at church when I lead, and it just felt like the right song to sing. And after TT and Auntie Mary told me his reaction to it, I knew that it was the right choice to sing this song.
Hold on, I don't mean to cut you off, Destiny, but I must say, let me tell y'all something. And this is how he sounded. When he got on the phone with Destiny, he said, can you sing me a tune or play me a melody? She said, yeah. Gerard's head went just like a little baby on his pillow to listen to Destiny sing. It was just like, it was a sad moment at the time, but it was one of the cutest moments for a grown man because he laid down just like a little baby would cradle their head under their mom. It was just too cute.
That's true.
Okay. You are holy, oh so holy. You are holy, oh so holy. What a privilege and honor to worship at your throne, to be called into your presence as your own. You are worthy, oh so worthy. You are worthy, oh so worthy. What a privilege and honor to worship at your throne, to be called into your presence as your own. You are faithful, oh so faithful. You are faithful, oh so faithful. What a privilege and honor to worship at your throne, to be called into your presence as your own, as your own.
I can search the heavens high. I can search the earth below, but there's no one. There is no one, no one. I can search the heavens high. I can search the earth below, but there's no one. There is no one, no one. I can search the heavens high. I can search the earth below, but there's no one. There is no one, no one, no one so holy, no one so worthy, no one so faithful. There is no one, no one, no one so holy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No one so worthy. Oh, no one so faithful. There is no one, no one, no one so worthy.
No one so worthy.
No one so holy.
No one so holy.
No one so faithful.
No one so
There is
faithful.
no one, no one, no one so holy.
No one so holy.
No one so worthy.
No one so worthy.
No one so faithful.
No one so
There is
faithful.
no one, no one.
Yes. Thank you, Destiny. Don't forget it. You on the roster to sing that Monday too, girl.
Okay.
Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, Destiny. Whoo, okay, Destiny. You got anything else you want to say?
I got a couple quick stories.
Okay.
So I just remember I was real little, and I don't know if I was staying with him for a weekend or if I was just for a day if he was watching me. But Uncle Rod was young when I was young. He always said I was his graduation gift because I was born a month after he graduated from high school. So he was watching me, and I remember it was the first time I ever saw his leg removed. I don't know if I'd never processed that he had a prosthetic leg or if I just didn't know. I don't know what. But I just stared at it. I was like, I can't take my leg off. What? And he was just kind of like waving it around, like teasing me. And I was like, that's not right. Why can you do that? I can't take my leg off. But I remember that same weekend, he didn't know what to do with me. So he just put on a movie. And I came back home and Mom was like, what you do? And I was like, we watched The Lord of the Rings. And she was like, he let you watch Lord of the Rings. And I was like, I didn't know no better. I was like, yeah, it was a cool movie. She called him up so fast. I was like, you sat her through Lord of the Rings. And I remember one time I was staying with Granny, actually. And I was taking a bath and I screamed. And TT, you remember how that bathroom had 2 doors?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Uh-huh.
And I screamed in the bathroom. TT come running through one door, Uncle Rod through the other. What's wrong? What's wrong? There's an ant in my bathtub. I remember Uncle Rod just looking at me and walking out.
Yeah, you used to be squeamish, real squeamish. That's true, real squeamish. Wow, that's funny.
And my mom, she's not feeling well, so she wasn't able to tune in tonight. But she had a story, and she said it was for some holiday, and you weren't there. You stayed in college. I stayed at college or something. So it was just my dad, Mama, and Uncle Rod. And Mama came over. She cooked, and y'all had a dog, and no dog food.
Okay.
So Uncle Rod was like, "You should. Can I give him some macaroni?" And
we're not talking old macaroni, like fresh. My mom just made it out the pot. He wanted to give the dog a scoop of macaroni. My mom said that is the first and only argument they ever had. He tried to give the dog fresh macaroni and she wouldn't let him, but she said she think he snuck and did it anyway. But my dad wouldn't get in the fight because he was like, I still have to live with him and I eventually got to live with you. So he stayed out of the fight.
Oh my God. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you very much. Tell your mom we said hello and we praying for her. Okay.
All right, I will.
All right, station break. Let me see what I got for a station break. This was our plan. So let me tell y'all this now before I forget to tell you. Originally, this was going to be the place where I showed you the celebration video that Rod made for him tonight, which is a beautiful 6-minute celebration video. It's, excuse me, absolutely beautiful. But whenever I try to pull it up, it starts messing with the audio. So when you leave tonight, I'm going to put in the chat the link to the video because I already uploaded to YouTube. So you'll be able to go right to YouTube and see it immediately. I just can't pull it in and show it to you now. So what I'd like to do, because we've been going for quite some time, it's 9:30, we're going for an hour and a half, is I would like to take maybe a 3-minute break. People got to go to the potty like me, because I do. This menopause is something else. Let me tell you, that's a whole nother, Lord Jesus Christ. Why didn't somebody tell me? Why didn't somebody tell me that I was going to be running through the house trying to get to the toilet? Okay, that's another story. I'm not going, but yeah, I'm going to go, visit the throne room. But I think I might have a commercial that I can let play till I get back. Let me see. Do I have anything that's not? Go. We're going to do the intro again is what we're going to do. So, all right, 3 minutes and we are back. And when we come back, we are going to hear from Starlet. Wait, Starlet, we didn't hear from you yet, did we? Okay, so we hear from Starlet. After we hear from Starlet, we're going to immediately hear from Rod because they've been here a long time. And then we'll move on. Cousin Sherelle is here and Booby is here. Booby, listen. People want to know about the super kick.
Oh, my gosh, the super kick. Oh,
I know it, but I know you know it.
The creator of the super kick. Yeah. I got
so I don't know what you were going to share, but you're going to have to include the super kick.
I have to now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll come back with Star, and then Rod, and then Sherelle, and then the super kick. So y'all don't want to miss the super kick. All right. All right. So I will see you all in 3 minutes. Oh, you made it now, baby. Oh, you made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Get this tea.
Like I said, maybe. Good. How you doing? All right. Be healthy, man. Yeah, hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm thinking I was gonna come over and see a steak, a burger. We're gonna get some meat here in a second. Stay trying to cover the carbs out. There we go. Yeah. Get a little pull first. Yeah. There we go. How's your trip going? It's going well. Thank you. Yeah, I had a nice long meeting with your brother. Good. Yeah. Good trade just about to happen. Yeah. Excited. We got to get it. Kind of seven. Yeah. Because talk a lot about I want things to work a little more maybe coverage and safety. And he's coming downhill like that, man. But he needs work. Right. Just understanding that he knows front seven. Right. The back. Yeah. The back. Bro, that's gonna come. Trust me. We got the scheme down packed now. So we're
all right. We're back. Let me see. I found it. That Booby is going at it. I found the noise. I didn't muted you now, Booby. Don't worry about it. All right, we are back. Thank you all again for coming tonight. We really, really appreciate you all. We really do. Mary, are you ready? Let me show this one more time. I'm just reminded of the fact that I am supposed to be showing our. Okay, so you'll see the my personal Cash App, Gmail. I'm sorry, Zelle and Yahoo below. If you are looking for an opportunity to bless Garard's, I'm going to say estate. I'm just going to say that. Then this is how you can do it. You can send it directly to VBTouray at Cash App or Zelle or PayPal. Just make sure that you put in the note DGB. The subject should say DGB so that it doesn't go into my personal fund, DGB, Derrick, Garard, Brent. You can send any condolences to DGB. We do hate that we were not able to, usually when we get together, Black folks, we get together and we really enjoy each other around this time, right? We get a chance to hug each other's necks and all such stuff as that. But because of the pandemic, we didn't even suggest that people travel, just because it's just so much going on. And I don't want to get into a whole lot of that, but there's just so much going on. We want everybody to be as safe as possible and everybody to last as long as they possibly can. So that's the only reason that we have not, received food at the house, and we've not gotten together and do what we normally do, what we normally do around this time, just so that we can be safe. Not because we don't love y'all, because we do, and we know we know y'all love us, but we want to be here as long as we can. We want you to be here as long as you can. Okay. So that is a way that you can share. If you want to show your appreciation of Derrick, Garard, Brent, that is the way you can share. Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. If you want to send it directly to Mary, that's to an address, then you can send it directly to Mary. I'll make sure that you have her address when we close down this broadcast. All right. Mary. Yes. Mary is going. Okay, good. So I'm ready for you to at least give some thanks to some of the people that you've already received condolences from. So are you ready to do that?
Yeah, hey, can somebody bring me the envelope with the name?
I want to make sure that I say this, they just came in. So I want to say thank you from Derrick and his family to Three Face Poet, Thank you for your condolences. We appreciate you. And also to the Clarence E. Phillips Ascend Foundation. Thank you for your condolences. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right, we are moving forward. And so we are going to hear from Starlet. Star, you ready?
I'm ready.
Now you confusing me. Okay, I'll go at the start.
Oh. Yeah, because I just said I was going to hear from you, didn't I? Yep, sure did. You ready? You ready? All right. Hold on a second, Star. Go ahead.
Okay, so first off, thank you everyone for just being there, for those who, even if it wasn't monetary, who came and helped me clean my house up. When my husband was sick and I was working still like a crazy chicken with my head cut off, dealing with other issues outside of the Brent family home. Everyone who just came in might have said why I could run an errand, because my husband was not having it to be in his house by himself. He was not having it. So I thank you guys. And I also thank everyone who gave monetarily. Chelsea Cook, thank you. Let me tell y'all, it's 2 Elam guys who showed up and showed out. Do you hear me? Showed up and showed out.
Something about them Elam boys. Something about them Elam boys.
Deshaun and Robo. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because y'all showed out. Keisha. Keisha Davis, my best friend. I don't know if she made it on here or not, but thank you. We had a John Doe. His name is Dejan. I'm pretty sure he didn't make it on here, but if you did, Dejan, thank you. His cousin Pokey and his wife Davine. Thank you guys. Alexandria, did I say her name right? T. Riley.
Yeah.
Thank you. And she was classy enough to give all 3 women an envelope.
She did.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Dion, if you're on here, you and Derrick go back or whatever, whatnot. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who donated to my husband. And like I said, I still thank everyone who couldn't. I know times is hard, times is rough. Some of us been on unemployment, some of us ain't, some of us on Social Security, some of us ain't. But even if you just came to my home and helped me keep my home in one piece, I really appreciate it. From us, from myself, and my children, my sister VBTouray, and just the whole Brent Touray family. We really appreciate everything everyone has done during this time of my husband's transition.
All right. Thank you, Miss Mary. So let me share this with you all. Those of you who all know, most of y'all know. I'm just saying this real quickly because this is, it's a little spiritual, but that's what I do. That's who I am. So I'm just going to share this with you. About a week and a half before, a week to a week and a half before Garard passed, 2 songs came back to me. Those of you who have known me through my spiritual walk or religious walk, you'll know these 2 songs. I hadn't heard these songs in 10, 15 years, Starlet. You're going to say, what? 10 or 15 years. I'm in the shower, because this is a new way that God deals with me, or a new way, is in songs. I get like real messages through songs, old songs that I've known for years past, right? So one of the songs came back to me. When I tell you this, you might have to shout. But anyway, I don't even remember the group that made it, but I know that it came out right around the time that Commission was doing their thing. Booby, you might know who this is too. Commission and Take 6 was doing their thing. It was I'm going to the other side. I'm going to the other side. I'm tired of living my old life. I made up my mind. I'm going to step right out on the banks of Jordan and step on in the tide. Goodbye, old me. I'm going to the other side. To the other side. Remember that? I'm going to the other side. That came to me in the shower about a week and a half before this happened. So heavy that I got out of the shower, and when I got back to my bedroom, my daughter was in there early in the morning. I said, man, I'm on YouTube trying to find the song because I want to hear it again. I said, this song, I said, man, I ain't heard this song in 10, 15 years. I'm going to the other side. Now, I know what that meant, but it was in my spirit. So I just kept singing it. Long and short of it is I couldn't find it on the internet and on YouTube. I was like, I can't find who sang this song. I couldn't find it. But the point is, God was giving me that message a week and a half in advance, right? Because that's where his mind was. He had made up his mind that he was moving on, right? The other song that came to me, now listen to this. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, tell Martha not to moan, Martha not to moan. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, tell Martha not to moan, Martha, don't you moan. Because Pharaoh's army, don't you know they got drowned in the Red Sea. I'm singing, Mary, oh, Mary, don't you weep, tell Martha not to moan. Martha, don't you moan. Now, I was able to find that one. I was able to find that song. But what hit me was his wife's name is Mary, right? And although we know they go into talking about Pharaoh and army, it really has to do with, or in addition, it has to do with telling Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his sister that they don't have to weep after he has died on the cross, because it's all a part of the plan, all a part of the will. That's really what the song is about. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because then I'm gonna start preaching or something, and it's really ain't about that. It's really not about that. All right, moving right along. So I'm gonna say one thing that my mother said to me years ago, and she said it consistently until she passed, and that is, she would tell us, God don't let nothing sneak up on you. All right, moving on. So the next story is coming from Star. Star, you're on.
Hi. First of all, it's been so healing to hear some of these stories that I haven't heard before, or heard a few of them. So thank you everybody for sharing, and thank you for letting me share. So one of the first things I thought about after Gerard's transition is about the fact that he was a drum major, and he was like the baddest drum major ever, like ever. And I'm a little bit younger than him. And of course, when you're in your teens, like that's 2 years to 3 years is a long time. And so I just remember like looking up to him and being like, oh my gosh, he is the baddest. So I'm hoping that Ken Washington still has a video of him somewhere. But I was reminded of that again tonight, and I had to bring it up because nobody really talked about it that much, even though I know you brought it up a little bit, a band, Ken. So y'all just remember it. And somebody called him the jack of all trades. And I literally just ran into this quote last week. The full phrase of jack of all trades is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yeah.
It was not like the pejorative way that we kind of think about it sometimes. And I feel like that is Gerard, right? Like he did everything. So I'm going to make my story shorter than it sounds like I'm about to make it, I promise. So rewind. I got a call from my dad. And my dad called me and he said, Star, I got some bad news. And he was like, it's really bad. And I was like, what happened? And he said, Gerard's leg had to be amputated. And I was like, whoa. And I remember thinking in those moments, like, he can't play the drums anymore. He's not going to be able to do anything hardly anymore. And I was just like, I remember like grieving over that. And then fast forward some time, and dude was doing literally everything. And I was like, how is this a thing? So I'm forward and fast rewinding now to about 2017. I talked to Garard. I was actually at work. It was a late night for me. And I was at work. And he was telling me all the things that he was still doing. He was playing in this band. He was still like able to do some lessons or something for cutting hair. Like at the time, it was the cutting hair phase was transitioning out or had just transitioned out. but he was still able to like mentor people. He was still singing. He was still doing comedy. I was cracking up the whole time, obviously, like everybody else has shared. But I remember leaving that conversation thinking, oh my gosh, I can do anything. I remember seeing that right after my dad told me, you know, that he had lost his leg and feeling like this hopelessness, like my friend, how can he play the drums again? And then I remember seeing him actually still doing those things. And then I remember hearing the stories from his mouth and just being so very encouraged. From the fact that he just still out of a world of impossibilities still made stuff happen.
Yeah.
And so to this moment, literally to this moment, it is something that has encouraged me and is still encouraging me. And I promise I won't let that conversation be in vain. And so to my brother and friend, thank you so much. I love you. And I'll keep living that way by God's grace and with his help. And to you, Vicky, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And Mary, I'm so sorry. And I have to just share that when I heard about you from him, it was one of the happiest that I've ever heard him ever in life. And I was like, this is it. This is finally it. And then when I met you at his house with Sunny, it was like, oh, she was just cool as a fan. And so, like, I think that my mom, you don't know her, it's not about her, but I think she would be proud of you. And so it encourages me to be that type of woman. So thank you.
Thank you. I told you, girl, I'm the charm. You see, that's the charm. How you do that?
That you are. Thank you, Starlet. Thank you very much. Okay, I am putting you out, Star, but I'm not sending you home. All right, so let's see. Next will be Rod, who is the gentleman who created this really nice celebration video that you all are going to watch as soon as you get off here. Right, I'm gonna send you right to it. Rod, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm Derrick's little brother, Rod. Well, I've known Derrick all my life, so as my mom said, he wanted to be our big brother. So I didn't have a big brother, and he took that role on very seriously. Like everywhere he went, I was there with him. Like I spent the night at his house when he was married. Like I was on the couch every weekend, every single weekend. He cut my hair. He taught me everything about drumming. I wanted to be a drum major because he was a drum major. So I wanted to be that so bad until they was like, "You're too short. You can't fit in the uniform." And I was so mad. Like I was so mad. So middle school, he came and he taught us every cadence of Pontiac Central at the time. So when I finally got to Central, I was able to play a lot of different cadences and rudiments and things like that because he had taught me that like very young. And they was like, "Dang, why are you so cold?" I'm like, "Well, you know, my brother taught me." So it was one of those things where I prided myself. Like everything I did, I mimicked Gerard, you know, because I didn't have like a male figure outside of my grandfather. He was too old, so it was like he was the next best thing. And he taught me like dressing out. Like to this day, like I take my time getting dressed. Like I'm slow as ever getting dressed because everything has to match to the T. Like
we know he taught you
single thing it has to match to the T from. So all those different things that people spoke about, like I carry on still to this day. Like anybody asks me who's my hero, I always say my big brother because he's the only person that's been like super consistent in my life. From the time I can remember to the time I moved to Texas 7 years ago. So I was with him every day. Everything like I was in clubs with him. I wasn't supposed to be in clubs with him. He would get me into clubs. He would take me to see my little girlfriends, even when he couldn't hardly see. Like it was one time we went to West Bloomfield. You know, it's a lake right there, and that little bumper rail, and we was in the snow, freezing. Gerard driving, laughing, like, and I'm holding the seat so tight, like my butt is clenching because he kept hitting the rail, and I'm like, bro, you might want to slow this joint down. He's like, man, you good? Stop being a little punk. I'm like, bro, I can't swim. So you go over this rail, we done, man. So it was crazy little stuff like that. He would just do, and then like when he got his leg amputated, he would like pull his leg all the way up. I mean, the pants leg all the way up, and wiggle his leg and be like, hey, yo, you want to touch it? I'd be like, man, what? Nobody want to touch that. And he would just wiggle. So he would do crazy stuff to this day. And then my like favorite thing is him roasting people. Like I take that and run with it now to this day. Like I don't hold no bar, like no holds bar for me. So I got it from him. So any and everything is available to talk about. And I go around, and I love it. Like people be like, "Yo, don't joke with him." I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, you get two for me, I'm letting you have it. So, man, he was like everything to me. Like I'm getting emotional. Like only two people deaf that, well, three people. Both my grandparents, and then Derrick's death like impacted me like so much. So when I say he's like my big brother, he's literally every sense of that. He kept me out the streets. He told me he'd never better catch me in the streets. So I stayed out the streets. Because I knew if he caught me, I already knew what it was. Like he talked to me just as like I was one of his siblings. And he treated me that way. He didn't punch me. He didn't did everything possible to keep me out of the streets and drumming and like everything. I can go on and on and on and on. So I love that dude. I'm gonna cry when I get off. I'm gonna hold it together now, but I'm gonna cry when I get off. And I thank y'all. And Vicky, I love you too. Yeah, I haven't met you yet, but this is my first time. I talked to you a little earlier, and I thank you for reaching out because I never got a chance to meet you, but I was definitely rooting for y'all always. I would have came and slept on y'all couch too, but I'm here in Texas, so.
But you grown now.
It's all I still, if he would have called me, you would have come over, I would have been right over there. So
I don't know about the couch, but because I'm
floor,
but
I would have been there. But that's my man. Always, like I said, if y'all need anything, let me know. If I got it, it's yours. If I don't, I'm gonna tell you I don't got it. But if I got it, it's yours. So I love y'all. And tell the little ones I said what's up. I haven't seen them in a while.
They see you right here.
Hello.
And Zoe got so big. So.
You know what that reminded me of, Rod, is when you talk about his leg, he used to, you know, he could always find a joke, and I don't care what it was. He could figure out how to make a joke out of it. Like, for instance, I'm gonna say this, and it's bleak, but it's the truth. You know, some of his complications was COVID related. Not all of it. Most of it was diabetes related. You know, but and he didn't believe that there was no such thing as COVID. He kept I don't believe that. But in his last 48 hours, he kept saying to people, "Oh, COVID got me."
He was weird, man. He would just take stuff and just make it like the greatest thing in America. Like it was the funniest thing. Like why would you making a joke out of this?
Why would you say that, right?
But it was what he did.
It is. Then he said, "But when I get to heaven, I'm gonna kick him in his ass."
That's deep, man. I love him, man.
But what I was gonna say originally is that whole leg thing made me think about the fact when he first lost his leg, his ass used to go into, you might know this, go into the shoe store and mess with people. Yeah. So he'd go to the shoe store and be like, "Yeah, I like these," because he's always shoe shopping. "Oh yeah, these are nice. I like these right here. How much these cost right here?" And the girl be like, "Oh, $65. They ain't on sale, huh?" No,
only got one
$65.99. Damn, that's kind of high though. But $65, yeah. Okay. And he said he'll tell a girl or the man. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna see this in a 10. Can you show me this in a 10?" And right before they walk off, he'd be like, "Wait a minute, hold up, wait. How much would you charge me for just one?"
One shoe, yeah. He do that all the time.
What?
Yeah.
Because I really don't need the other shoe. I only need one. So, like, if it's 65, like, can you give me like half, like 50% off, and just give me one? So he said, the people are like, You know, he's I'm just kidding. Yeah, bring me both shoes. So he could find.
He was crazy. Like one time we was at the shoe store and we was getting this one Stephon Marbury had his joints coming out like fresh. Everybody was like all on them. So we went to the store and he had to go get told him to go get him some shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude took his leg off because they didn't know he had pants on. He took his leg off and hit it, hopped back to the seat. And when they came back, they were trying to figure out what happened to his leg, man. It was the funniest thing. Like, he used to do crazy stuff like that. I was like, this dude crazy.
He was a nut. That's for sure.
He did crazy stuff.
Thank you, Rod. Thank you, and thank you again for when Rod found out that Gerard had made his transition. You know, Rod does graphics and stuff for a living. That's his job. That's his business, not his job, right? But Rod contacted me and said, "What can I do? Can I do some kind of graphic?" You know, and I didn't get back to him for 3 or 4 days because my mind was I was a little off kilter. But I called him finally 2 days ago, and I said, "I got a bunch of pictures. Can you make a video? You know, And I told him I can do it, but I just don't have time. You know, can you do it?" And he said, "I can do it." And he said, "I haven't done it." No, he didn't tell me he hadn't done it before. He just said, "I can do it." And I sent him the pictures, and he made a beautiful, beautiful video that, again, you will give the link to as soon as we close this down so you can go and see it. And then when you are looking for your graphic, you have your graphic needs. Think about this young man who didn't say to me, "Can I do something that's going to cost you $250?" He didn't say that. He said, "Can I do something? Is there anything I can do?" And that's what he had to offer, and he did it, and it's beautiful. And I that's why it's already on YouTube. So y'all check it out and make sure you need a graphic done. You need some. I was really impressed because he told me after he finished it, he said, I never did a video before, not a video slideshow. I said, "What? Really?" That was hard for me to believe, but he did it. So check it out. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are very welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I am putting you out, but you ain't got to go home. All right, so next, I believe that the Rapid Street, Booby is here representing the Rapid Street crew. And I'm hoping that he gonna tell us something about this super kick in addition to whatever else that he gonna share with us tonight.
Yeah, how's everyone doing? James Gonzalez, Booby. Again, yeah, Rapid Street. I have so many stories. It's ridiculous. Like growing up on Rapid Street, just even with Garard, he was like the ringleader of everything we did. He even created a name for just our Rapid Street crew. It's called Rapid Ruthless Posse, RRP. And there was nothing ruthless about us at all, trust me. We weren't about that life at all, but that's the name he came up with, so we ran with it. So a couple things we used to do on Rapid Street. Let me just talk about these things real quick. Gerard was 2 years older than me, 3 years older than my brother, and 4 years older than like the younger kids in our neighborhood. But we all hung out with each other and everything. And we looked up to Gerard. We looked up to him like he was our leader. He was, from everything. Like we would have prayer, Gerard would lead it. We'd go knock on somebody's door and run, Gerard was the leader. So like the contrast was so different. But that's us growing up as kids. But we used to get in fights as a kid too, you know, the whole neighborhood from Rapid Street to Bagley to Motor to Crystal Lake, whatever the case may be. We was just kids being kids growing up. So every time we get in a fight, everybody's like, "Oh man, this person got beat up," whatever the case may be. But Gerard, if he got into a fight, he had this kick. And this is what I want to talk about. This kick went through the whole South Side in about 2 years. Gerard was winning every fight off this super kick, literally knocking people out off a super kick. He would kick his leg in the air, right? And then he'd just kick somebody right in the chest. If he can't get the chest, he'd try to get their stomach, and he did win knocked out just like that. So everybody knowing Gerard for his kid. Then we had these kids moved on Rapid Street down at the corner house, and Gerard was about to get in a fight with one of those kids, and everybody's like, you better not do that. You better not do that. Gerard got the super kick. The super kick will put you on your back, you know? And the dude was like, yeah, whatever. And Gerard was like hyped about his kick, and we was hyping him up too. Like, hey, this kick is dangerous. So anyway, the dude ended up, you know, back in the day, we had this thing where you put a stick on somebody's shoulder, knock it off.
Knock it off.
You knock it off, that means, hey, it's time to go. So the dude knocked the stick on Gerard's shoulder. And we was like, oh, no, you did. But anyway, Gerard's like, oh, boy, here we go. I'm about to do the kick on you. Gerard kicked his leg up. And for the first time in like 2 years, the dude caught Gerard's leg, and then he swung on Gerard and knocked Gerard down. And you know, once you get down, it's the end of the fight. And from this day, we was like always talked about Gerard and his super kick and how it got defeated on that day. And it was the funniest thing ever, because we never thought that super kick would get like defeated. But just a little bit about Gerard. He's again, man, this dude used to lead so many. I swear, so cars would ride by our street, right? So we got Gerard House is right on the corner of Rapid and Motor, right? So cars would ride by, we'd hang out on the corner, and we'd just act like we fighting, like pretend fight. And Gerard is the leader, of course. So people would really stop, get out their car, like, or if you get out their car and say, hey, y'all stop fighting, y'all don't do that, we ain't playing that. And then once they do that, we all take off and start running, cracking up. Like, we just did little, like, growing up, we were just doing little dumb stuff, like, just to get attention and get a good laugh. I remember when Gerard got his license. And Vicky, I don't know if you remember, it was a Burgundy. I don't know what kind of car he was in. I don't know if it was his car or your parents' car, but it was
my
like
father's car.
It was the Burgundy car.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Gerard would get the car. Get the car. Hey, Boo, Red, let's go for a ride. I'm like, all right, let's go, man. So we hop in the car with him, and then. Which is so dangerous to do right now. Okay, back in the day, we didn't know better. We was kids, you know, 16, 17 years old. But anyway, we'd get into the car and we'd see somebody riding on a bike. And then Gerard would follow them on the bike for like 4 streets just to get the dude scared. Just to give him a scare. He'll follow him for like 4 miles. And then he'll turn the lights off and turn them on. So now this dude, whoever's on this bike is really paranoid right now. Right? And then we'll still follow. So we'll run up, he'll speed past the dude, stop. Then as the dude ride by, he'll say, hey, is that my boy Ryan bike? And the dude be like, no, this ain't no Ryan bike. Then he'll speed off, and then we'll start cracking up, like, because we know we just scared the crap out this dude. But we was just being kids, you know. But I know some of these stuff you can't do these days. But Gerard was just like, that was my ace. Real talk. That was my guy. I looked up to him. And I can remember like any accomplishment I had, like even when I got into St. Mary's, he was so proud of, you know, him being the drum major at Central, and he would come to all the games he could possibly come to. He always spoke life, and me and my brother, and it was just great to know that I had a friend like that. I remember when, and this was a couple months ago when I first got my facility, And I didn't, you know, Gerard was so proud of me that I had my facility finally because he knew how much I love to work out, train, or whatever. And he was telling people like, "Yeah, Boo got it," and I didn't hear it from him, but I'm hearing it from everybody else saying, "Yeah, man, Gerard told us you had a facility and it's dope, and how proud he was of you." And it is that he's that type of person. He's always about uplifting and bringing joy and life to other people's lives. And I will always remember him for that. It was bigger than the laughs. It was bigger than the jokes. He actually cared. And to me, that goes a long way. You know, and I know we had a deep rooted relationship just by growing up on Rapid Street and the bond we had on Rapid Street. But the fact of the matter is, he had a caring attitude, and it was genuine. It wasn't fake. Any hardship I had or went through, which it was a lot of them, he was always there for me, and I'll always remember that. And I just thank God I had the chance to communicate and talk to him. You know, before he moved on, transitioned, and I'm most definitely miss him. And I thank God for you, Vicky. Like, he loved his sister. He loved his Vicky. He loved Vicky. Like, he always talked about you. And Mary, you have no idea. Like, you was his rock. Like, literally. Like, oh my gosh, this dude loved him some Mary. Like, hey, man, I'm tell you, boo. Let me tell you, man. She the best thing that ever happened for me. I swear, man. And she loved me like no other. And this is things he said, and that just made me appreciate you even more. So yeah, so I just love y'all. I know I'm talking my head off right now, but I miss my guy. I miss him, and I thank God.
We all do.
Yeah.
Most definitely. That's what his son was just saying. He just said, Mary, he was moping. I said, what's up? He said, man, I know I didn't get to see him in 2 weeks, but I just really miss Dad. I said, yeah, you're going to miss him for a long time. You know, it's going to be some healing, but.
Yeah.
That's what we all here for, to help each other heal.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Booby.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so next on the docket, I think it's going to be cousin Sherelle out there in the ATL, and then Zoe, you'll be next, and then the next will be Sister Hogan, and then Three Face Poet. All right.
I already went.
Good evening, everyone.
Me.
I thought you wanted. You came back, so I thought you was trying to come back.
I'm
just
just
hanging
chilling.
out. Hey, boo. All right, cousin Sherelle, come on, do your thing.
Hi. I only got to meet Gerard once in my lifetime, which was this past May. And him and his wife Mary, give me just a moment. They opened their doors for me and my husband to come in and spend time with Vicky and her husband and their kids. And I didn't get a chance to meet his kids. They weren't there at the time, but meeting him and just listening to all the stories that you guys have told makes me feel like I missed out on knowing a great man in my lifetime. But what was so funny about Gerard was the way him and Mary played around with each other. It was just funny. They just had these little quirky things that, it was this unspoken type of thing, whereas she look at him, he look at her, and they knew exactly what each other was saying, and then he go one way, she go one way, and then they meet back up in the middle, and I'm like, what just happened? So it was just those unspoken little things, and I'm like, and I asked my husband, I said, did you just notice that? He was like, yeah. He was like, she didn't say nothing, he didn't say nothing, but they both came back together, and it was like right on point. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So and then I'm the family historian, and once he learned who I was, the interest that he took in all of the work that I've put into getting the information in regards to our family tree, things of that nature, the different question that he asked me in regards to the family, he made me feel like my work wasn't in vain. Like every fact that I found in regards to our family, he took it in and he absorbed it, and he had more questions, and he just didn't have time to ask the questions that he wanted to ask. But he got a lot of answers. And I just feel privileged to have graced his presence, even if it was just that one time. It made an impact on me. I mean, I would always hear Vicky say, Gerard, Gerard, Gerard. I knew of Gerard, but I had never gotten the privilege of meeting him. And when I did, like I said, he made this lasting impression on me. And when I got that text message from Vicky, I was working, and it felt like somebody punched me in the gut. It was like, wait, I just met him. I haven't had a chance to finish giving him the information that I need to give him. I felt like I missed an opportunity, but after listening to all the stories in the lives that he's touched throughout his lifetime, I'm full right now. So I feel like I know him in and out and in. I know how much his sister and his wife and all, the family loved him. Oh, and by the way, Ray said he's sorry he couldn't make the broadcast. He's not feeling well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's under the weather, but I did talk to him, and he told me to tell you guys that he loved you, and he did attempt to, but he wasn't feeling well this evening.
Okay.
But that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say thank you guys for allowing me to be privileged to hear the life stories of Gerard.
Thank you, Sherelle. Sherelle is my age. So when Gerard came around again, Gerard was 8 years younger than me. So when Gerard came out, he was like an afterthought, He was like, and they're like, where did he come from? But of course he came in and made we was glad to have that little chocolate baby. I will never forget when he came from the hospital. We were so glad to see Gerard. He was fat and juicy, and we hadn't had a baby. It was 8 years. We hadn't had a baby. And I remember like it was yesterday, Mama said, she was, when you're in the hospital and you having babies, you start craving stuff. And she hadn't had a Whopper. She said, I wanted a Whopper so bad. Ooh, I wanted a Whopper so bad. She said that her pastor, that was Elder Heron at the time, Elder Heron came and said, Mother Joyce, is there anything I can get you? Anything I can do for you? She said, she looked at him. She said, Elder Heron, you know what I really want? She said, what? I want a Whopper sandwich. He said, well, I can do that. That's all you want is a Whopper sandwich? She said, yeah, I just really want a Whopper sandwich. He said, well, let me go get you one. I'll be back. She said, Elder Heron came back with that Whopper sandwich, and a woman came in with Gerard and said, Miss Brent, it's time to change the baby. Mom said, she said, okay. And she reached up and got Gerard. She said, and she went to tray and Gerard, she said, and that little ding dong went, she said, and all that, everything he let out went right on her Whopper sandwich. She said, I was sick. I wanted that Whopper so bad. I was sick. So, yeah. Okay. So moving right along, the next one would be our, what do you call it when our surrogate mother? And that would be Miss Mary Hogan. Sister Hogan, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we ready too.
I was about to hang up because I couldn't get in. I don't know why, but I finally got in because I had a story I want to tell.
Okay.
It's not really a comedy story about him. And I don't think I ever told him this, so at least I'll tell you all this. Okay. When my Gerard's parents are my grandson's godparents. Mm-hmm. I have a grandson named Stefan. And Stefan
Doodlebug.
They called him Doodlebug, yeah. And so Gerard's his god brother. And then when my daughters were having children, I always wanted them to name their children after somebody in the Bible. Well, the first daughter, she named her daughter Angel. And I said, I didn't say something in the Bible. I said somebody, but she named her Angel. And then the second daughter, she named her son, she gave him a second middle name, which was Jordan. Close. That's a river. But anyway, I kept wanting to give him these biblical names. When my granddaughter had her first son, she named him Elijah. And I thought, oh, that's neat. Somebody finally got the vision of naming people. But then she told me the reason she named him Elijah, because she talked to Garard, and Garard told her, if I ever have a son, I'm going to name him Elijah. Well, we see when he had his sons, he named them after himself. He did name him Elijah. But by the time, because her son's 13, he's older than her boys. She had taken the name, but I was always grateful to him for saying that to her, because finally I got a grandson named from out of the Bible. Thank you, Jesus. So, and I don't think he didn't know about my quest to get this done, but I just think God used him in that area. I want to say another thing, and I haven't seen him since Juneteenth, because he was at the Juneteenth celebration and he wasn't doing good about answering the phone, and that's how we communicated. So I haven't actually seen him since Juneteenth, but I have talked to him a couple times. But if anybody that knows me knows that I plan on getting married again. And the older I get, the more people look at me and say, really? You plan on getting married? Really? And don't nobody believe this but me. It doesn't seem like it. Anyway, but Garard believes it. Because not only now, this is where his comedy came in. Not only did he believe it, but he named the guy Harold. And every once in a while he'd say, well, how's Harold doing? I'm thinking, who's Harold? But he had named my future husband Harold and would talk about him to me as if he said, I saw Harold the other day. I said, really? Can you tell me which way he went? So I remember. But he believed in, I appreciate the fact that he believed that I had planned to get married again. When I saw him Juneteenth, he said he was apologizing to me because I had a birthday party in April. He wasn't able to come. He said, I felt so bad that I wasn't able to be at the birthday party. I said, it's okay, Gerard, and this is what I said to him. Because we get together a lot as a family, and that includes the Brents, because they're part of our family. And I said, don't worry about Gerard. As much as we get together, you'll have another chance. And he didn't have another chance. But I will see him again. It just won't be here. It'll be in glory. Oh, that's somebody finally got it.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Sister Hogan. Thank you for that. Somebody is there's some noise somewhere. So if you're not talking, mute yourself so we don't miss anything. The next person is going to be probably his favorite poet of all time, Three-Face Poet. He love to say Three-Face.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I just want to say, give my condolences to Mary and the family, and that I'm glad that I had the opportunity to meet the brother, and on a poetry note, because I haven't known him for a long time, but the short time that I did know him, I can say very good brother, funny, and I learned a lot by being on this live about him. A lot of stuff I did not know, and it amazes me that he had all that talent. And I tell people all the time to document certain things, do interviews. Stars, celebrities do it all the time, and I feel like we stars too, and we are important to different people in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Had I not been on this, I wouldn't have known. So it made me feel good to know that I knew a man that I had been around for a short period of time, and to hear all these good things come out. So that's it for me. And to everyone, do your own story.
Mm-hmm.
Do your own story, put it on a flash drive. You never know.
That's a good word. You're right.
Thank you.
It's a good word.
For sharing.
Thank you, three-faced poet. You don't want to recite one of them poets, poems that he loved, do you? I'm just asking. No pressure.
Yes. I guess that would be which one would you say, Vicky?
I think he loved Dolomite. That's what I think he loved.
I do
Unless
Dolomite.
he told you something thinking. I mean, did something different.
Yeah, I do Dolomite.
All right.
I am your new version of Dolomite. If you don't know the name, you can Google it tonight. AKA Rudy Raymore. I knock on her front door. I ask, she asks, what I'm coming for. I told her love, aura, and her orgasm. She said she was having back spasms. I replied, I got your back. I'm your chiropractor. I'm trying to learn and practice Tantra. Hands on or off. We can get on or off. Create a quiet storm. Call it spiritual porn. With no cameras on. Lit candles, no light bulbs on. Breathing is our music until we are done. This isn't our usual physical movement. This is elevating, creating, and not getting bored with what we used to doing. We didn't got stuck, screwed up, fucked up, bust nuts, hugged up, and wet up sheets. We even grind in our sleep. 69ing, high-fiving. We come at the same time. Perfect timing. She riding. That's my will alignment. Kundalini rising like two serpents kissing. Who cares and who said serpents was wicked? Interesting positions. French and African kissing. Nothing's missing. We on something different. Fluids mixing like a chemist, alchemist, scientist, laboratory experience. It was a full moon when we tried this. All the planets gonna respect this. Hitler didn't even try this. If he did, he didn't write or record it. If love is blind, in my mind, it's gorgeous. That's that.
I love it. I love it. And he did too. Hey, to the three-faced poet. Thank you to the three-faced poet.
You are.
I love you, man. I really do. I love you,
You are.
Kenneth and Patricia watched it and said, "Oh Lord." Listen. We have one more person on. If you want to get on this train, you got to get on quick because we're gonna let Tanya Jenkins tell her story. And if no one else comes, we're gonna go ahead and close this out. Thank you, Three-Face. We appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, Tanya, you ready? You're on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm a little mixed up. Excuse me.
Which one would you say, Vicky?
I think he loved Dolomite. That's what I think he loved.
Is somebody still talking?
You are. It's you got something on? You got some kind of something on in the background?
I can still hear Three-Face, so I don't know what's going on with my stuff.
You got do you have two like a phone and a computer open or something like that?
Don't know the name. You can
No, I don't think so. My phone ain't on.
Rudy Ray.
But if y'all can hear me, I can make it through this.
I can hear you.
Little bit. Okay, so I just go on and this there and go. Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but after hearing all of this, I just said I gotta be strong. Okay. I was just taking bits and pieces from people's story, from him in the shoe store to him driving. I got so many stories of Gerard. he was like 6 years younger than me, but he was always such an annoying little brat from day one. We didn't get real close until we got older, kind of like Vicky. She named all the friends. I guess I was a tag along too. So she named all the friends, but we didn't get close with some of y'all until we got older. And they finally let us, I guess, in the crew where we wanted to be. I didn't think I wanted to be with y'all, but I'm here. So he was definitely one of the last skirts. And I used to say to him, how did you get here? Who invited you? And he'd be like, who invited you? But we would share more and more stories together. And he let me know, it's something as we young, as we look at the older ones, and you never think, well, I'm one of them older ones, people looking at you too. And he said to me one time, I remember you used to come to church. Because in our way, we grew up, when I got a boyfriend, he came to church with me. And you and that one boy would come, and then y'all would sneak up the street. And y'all would go all the way up the street, then y'all disappear in the field. Gerard had to be 5, because I was probably 15. Well, maybe he was 8 or 9. But he did. I said, what? But I knew. That boy was telling the truth. But I was like, what? And then he said, okay, all I want to know is what was y'all doing? So I just said to him, I made up something. I really don't remember what we were doing, but it was just something to see how he had watched me, even though, I was watching him in a different way too. And then we got to be so close. My mother shared the story about my son. The Brent family definitely took my son in and loved him. Sometimes I think they loved him more than me. And he was a big part of my son's life. And then he came to the point that he was a big part of big part of my grandson's life. My daughter was crying the other day, and I was like, what is going on? She said, I just still remember Gerard rubbing my belly and saying, you need to name him Elijah. You need to name him Elijah. And she just cried and cried. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know it was quite that deep with her. So he just touched people, just so many people as I can see. Me and him, we used to hang out. He lived in Newman's and I lived in Lancaster. So after some of our gatherings, he would take me home because I had disabilities too. And we shared our disabilities, and I tried to make him stronger and different everything. But yet and still, one day he was taking me home, and it was late because we would stay out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So it was late. So the streets were kind of scary. But yet and still, we in Michigan, it was a snowstorm. If any of y'all know the hill you go up University to get to the Newmans, we was driving him. He was driving me home, and he was going up the hill on the wrong side of the street. And I was sitting there, I was scared to death. And I didn't want to say, if you trying to be funny, this is getting a little overboard, okay, buddy? And I said, you're right, what is you doing? He was like, what is you talking about? I'm driving you home. You want to get out? I was like, no, you on the wrong track. He said, oh, I'm okay. Woo, woo. He pulled over, and I was almost like, then I could see he was trying to be funny. And I talked to him, like, well, maybe it's hard to tell people it's time to stop things. But I would never forget that. I was scared to death in the car with him. So when Roderick mentioned them cars drives, I was like, "Woo, I can relate." But it was so much. It was so much things that me and him went through, and it's just surprising. Somebody I wouldn't have never thought had been this big a part of my life, little Gerard, to now is like he big Gerard, but I know he was a big part of my life, my family, my children. And I was remember when y'all called me and like he go leave, and I was like, no, y'all crazy. We Christians. He gonna be okay. So it was real hard for me, but I have definitely seen the light. But Lord, letting still, I'm gonna miss him so much, so much.
Yeah.
He was a great person to me and my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I got one more story.
Okay.
That's like since he was in my relationships. I remember one time I was going through with my husband before we got married. And he came over one day, and somehow he could tell was something wrong with you. He was like, what's the matter? And I was like, nothing. Man, you been nothing. No, come on. Then we finally got along. He said, come on, what's the matter? I could tell something the matter. I said, he just getting on my nerves. I'm about to break up with him. This is over and done. And he said, you know what? I ain't never said some smart stuff to you, but knowing the hell you're not. You ain't about to let him go. You keeping him. He the best thing you ever had. And I mean it. You better get yourself together. I'm like, what? No, see, y'all women are so ungrateful. That's y'all problem. Now let me tell you, he started picking out the different things that my husband now is. He this and that and that, and you talk about let him go. You need to be shaming yourself. You keep it up, I'm leaving. I was like, right, boy, shut. I mean, even though I couldn't tell him, shut up. I just was like, okay, because some of the stuff he said made me think, okay, if Garard can see is good too. You know, them the people you look for. You be thinking, everybody thinking I'm with this loser, but everybody has something good. Well, Garard had definitely plenty good to say about it. But that's all I got now. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Let me read this real quick. Well, I'll make that last. We are going to hear from Garard's babies and Garard's wife.
I got
and
Come on,
that
so you
will
can
be-
tell your story. I got a story.
And then that will be I'll share something with you all that we're kind of excited about. The Brent and VBTouray family is excited about that will speak to his life, and then we're gonna let you go. So who's going first?
Me.
Oh, dang. Okay. So
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest child.
all right, come on, let's do it. Rock.
Deanna is the oldest. She said she's the oldest child.
All right, it's between me and DJ. Rock, paper, scissors. Ha! I won that thing. So, all right. So my story is because it's just so funny because I just can't get this one out of my head. So the kids always bicker back and forth with each other, but then as soon as one get mad at each other, they tell on each other, right? So one day we all just down here, we just chilling. Me, Derrick, and the kids, we just chilling. So what we hear is DJ and Deanna just, and you said, and no, you said. So Deanna busts out and say, and no, DJ, you shut up because you was talking about Mary every time she get ready to go to work. So me and Derrick looked at each other like, I said, what he be saying, Deanna? She was like, yeah, hold on, let me stand up so I can show them what y'all be doing.
Every time I think about this, I laugh.
So he was like, Deanna was like, every time Mary get ready to go to work that night, DJ be like, yes. So then I'm like, oh, for real, DJ is like that. Then DJ was like, Deanna, you shut up too, because you do it too. So then, look at him. So then, one day I'm getting ready to go to work, and we had the kids. Derrick and I had the kids. So Derrick, he all like, all right, babe. They, for some odd reason, want to walk me to the door this day. Never walk me to the door. So, see, she back here talking about Dad was doing that to us with us too. Remember that? So, they all like, all right. Derrick like, come on, let's walk Mary out for work, y'all. So here comes I'm leaving off the porch, and all I hear him gonna say, everybody start dancing. Bye, babe. So I turned around because I'm laughing like, no, he didn't. Then they all in the door talking about, have a good day at work. So I turned back around, get ready to open the door to get in the car. All three of the fools. It was just too funny because they just think I was the meanest stepmama ever, but I love them all. I love them all. You're not mean.
They know you love them.
Okay, so DJ. Oh no, rock, paper, scissors. Come on, rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, showdown. I got you.
DJ, let's go.
No. I said scissors. No.
Come on, so
come on, Deuce.
All right, so I remember when Dad would take us on the smart bus and go to like the Dollar General to get push pops and other ice cream stacks, and sometimes he would take us to just random corner stores and I forgot the name, but it was an ice cream.
Like Buckner's. You talking about Mr. Buckner's?
Yep. Oh, and I would like, I forgot what ice cream I got. It was like chocolate all the time, but Superman and chocolate. That was my go-to. I told you that Auntie Vicky, like not too long ago, like summer, like early fall. So
What's your favorite memory of your dad, DJ?
Every single one. I can't choose, but it's too many.
What was his special name for you?
Derrick. He had a couple. He had Big Man, Derrick, and Buddy. Yeah, he had a few.
Big Man. That's what I'm thinking about. Because he used to tell me that's my big man, and I call him that. That's my big man. So yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And what about you, Deanna? What is your favorite memory of your dad?
I have a lot of them, but I remember this one time. I had gone to dad with at a doctor's appointment, and I was going with him, and we were in like this little food court area, and we had got some ice cream. He got a strawberry shortcake. He's like, what is going on? Yeah, I got a strawberry shortcake, and I had got this ice cream cookie sandwich, and it looked really good. So he was like asking me if I wanted to try some. I was like, no. And then after a while, I said, yeah. I ended up eating his strawberry shortcake and eating the cookie too.
Oh, you ate all of it?
Yeah. And then another funny part about that day is that we had gotten into a cab, and this dude thought I was a boy.
Oh.
Derrick thought I was a boy.
And what did your daddy say?
I can't. He was like, that's a girl. Oh my God.
It's a wonder he didn't get mad and tell the man off. Because it wouldn't be unlike him.
Yeah, but the dude thought I was a man, the driver. So that was a good time.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. So we are the Brent and Touray families would like to thank you again, you all, for coming out. We love y'all. We know y'all love Derrick, and we appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you've done, every prayer you sent. We appreciate it. So I'm just going to read to you very quickly something that you'll see on the end of Rod's video. Let me put right here. I'm putting in the chat right now. I'm going to call it the DGB celebration video that Rod created for Derrick. I'm putting it in the chat right now. All you gotta do is copy it, and you can go copy and paste it into your browser and go straight there. But you will see this note at the end of it. And it says, the Brent and Touray family send a heartfelt thank you to all of you who love Derrick. He loves you too. We appreciate every prayer, gift, and assist. Our hope for you is twofold: that every memory you have of Garard on earth bring you laughter and joy. Secondly, we hope that his lifetime battle with diabetes will ignite our community to seek and find a path to victory over this merciless disease. So that is my segue into telling you a little bit about one thing that we are planning as a family, and that is Garard did have some complications with COVID. Absolutely. He had COVID pneumonia toward the end, right? But that, he had a lot of underlying issues that started with childhood diabetes. So we have decided as a family to do something with his memory that as opposed to just letting him pass off. As you can see from the time that we spent today, Garard died too early, especially considering how much he had to offer the world. He had a lot to offer. He didn't die from a violent crime, or anything like that. He died from diabetes complications. That's the bottom line. The fact that he lost his several limbs or a limb and phalanges, and some of you didn't even know that happened toward the end, where he lost some phalanges, some fingers, and his bout with kidney disease and the fact that he needed a kidney transplant. All of that stuff, and the loss of almost 100, probably about, I'm going to say as much as 80% of his sight, or at least 70% of his sight, all came from as a result of diabetes complications. And quite honestly, the pandemic is going to make it harder for most of us to bypass diabetes. And I'm saying that because I know I picked up some extra weight. and just about everybody I see have, unless you have consciously did something different to keep from doing so. And all of that will turn into the same stuff. Our community suffers with diabetes, high blood pressure. I don't have to go through it because you know. So I'm in conversations, or we're in conversations. Our family, the Brent family and the VBTouray family, are in conversations right now with people that will help us to start a foundation. And we're playing around with the name, the Derrick Brent Awareness and Prevention, Diabetes Awareness and Prevention Foundation, right? Where we can, and the point of it, Patrice said, it's a violent disease. Yes, it is. So the point of our effort will be to get information to our community in terms of awareness and prevention of diabetes as early as possible. So as early as pre-K or as early as nursery. Because if we eat better and exercise and all that early on, and it becomes a part of our life and a way of life for us, then there's nothing to change. So that is the plan. That is the plan. So you all stay close, because we would love for you all to be involved in whatever efforts, because they're not just, somebody said to me the other day, they saw me on the street and they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss." And I said, it's our loss. It's not just my loss. And I say that to you all too, because I know that y'all love Derrick. Maybe not in the same way that I love Derrick, but you love Derrick. You know, you love Derrick. I know that. So it's not just my loss, it's your loss. And just as it's all of our loss, I would like to invite you to take up the mantle to do something different, just like we did, just like we are. I'm gonna get my ass out there on that track again and start doing some walking, because in childhood, those of you who know anything about it, childhood diabetes is the worst, because it starts eating at you as early as as early as a child. And like I know, just like when Lois and her babies were telling that story the other day, earlier on, they were saying Garard, the only time Garard ever got mad at her when she started talking to him about what he was doing, how he wasn't taking care of himself. And that's when he got angry, because like most of us, once we get used to something, that's just what we do, unless we make a conscious effort to do something different. So I just feel like it would be easier to do something different if you start off extremely young. So education in our school systems and in our community groups for our young people, as well as, and this is another piece. So I was talking to Kano Phillips the other day about this particular thing. He said, you might have to separate them. Maybe we will have to make a separation. But there are three things, Mary, that I feel like, and of course, Mary's we're gonna come to an agreement on this before we do anything. But there's three areas I think that Garard made the most significant influence in. One, I think that his life can make a huge influence in the diabetes awareness and prevention, right? Mm-hmm. The other is the development of comedians, right? And when I say development, I mean, we all know that Garard was a comedian, but Garard didn't have any formal training, but he was just naturally funny. But what if we were able to get behind people of our community who had that natural talent, that natural ability, and was able to get them some development so that they could really, really go on and do what they would like to do, what they want to do. And then the third piece would be the development of drummers, of percussionists.
Oh yeah,
that was his thing, right? Now he was trained in school, but not formally trained, but trained in school. So when you talk about or what I have in mind, my thought would be to get the education to people as soon as possible, as early as possible, in terms of awareness and prevention, and to put things in place where we can help to develop people from our community, or boys and girls from our community who have those same gifts and talents as comedian or funny, as well as percussionists, those who are percussionists. Patrice said, truth, Vicky, lost my father to it. And my male best friend, who has a similar spirit as Derrick, has suffered since we were kids. Yeah. So I hope that you all will join us in that effort. Share this video with somebody that loved Derrick and somebody who just needed to know something. Sherelle, cousin Sherelle said, love those avenues of awareness and development. Yeah. So we can talk more about that later. But listen, thank y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. We love y'all. Take care of yourselves. I don't believe that everybody that is dying has COVID. I really don't believe that. But I do believe that there's something out there that we have not seen before, and it is taking us out. I also believe that our system may not be doing the best thing all that they can for many of us, because they can always just blame it on COVID and keep moving. So please take care of yourself. Do the best thing you possibly can to take care of yourself, because we're leaving here quickly. So I want to see everybody again. I want to be able to hug your neck. I want to get to a place and a time where we can hug your neck and we can love on each other for real, and not just over the camera. So we love y'all. We love y'all. We thank you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Mary, is there anything you want to say to close us out?
Just thank you again to everyone and coming to share a great experience, and thank you for all the love and support that you guys have showed my husband, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Amen. Kenneth and Patrice Washington said Derrick was passionate about people that are amputees. That is true. And I think Kenny and Patrice, I think we can cover that under the umbrella of diabetes, because all of that stuff came as a result of his diabetes diagnosis. Love everyone. We love y'all too. Take care, everybody. Listen, the link, I'm gonna do it one more time, is here to go and see Rod's video. Go and see Rod's video. His and then give him some give him some likes, give him some feedback. He's an artist, so give him some feedback. Don't leave it there. And also like my channel. Subscribe. We'll see y'all later. We love y'all. We love you. I'm gonna take you out with this outro. Thanks for hanging out with 3T. Now, you can help us build this platform by simply taking a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe.